Hola, boa noite, and welcome to this very special Portuguese wine party tonight. Let's bring on the Wine Ninjas, who are the mainstay of the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, who are leading.
Hi, everybody.
Tonight. Special guest tonight, a rare appearance of that exotic bird.
Neil.
Neil. Hello, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's Saturday. I'm allowed to drink. Had a busy day on the house today, and ready for a nice glass of wine.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got somebody called Carlos joining us, I think, tonight. Carlos, will you wave from the green room if you actually want to join us live on screen? I see you're just covering yourself up there. Can you gesticulate towards me if you want to be live on YouTube?
We don't want to be doing that.
Oh no, he's gone. He's gone. I asked him that, and he's gone. That was. Do you know what? I'm glad I asked. But first comments coming in. Hi, Carl. Back. Oh, sorry, I can't be with you tonight. I'm getting in quick. Mrs. Turker's school is away for the night, and I'm having a boys' night in with my 14-year-old. Enjoy your wine. Have a great evening, Paul. Thank you for that. Paula Rooney, give us a thumbs up if you want to join us on screen. Should we do it anyway? I think that's a thumbs up. Paula, are you happy to be on the screen with us live on YouTube?
Yes.
Woo, fantastic. Carlos, are you happy to be on screen? I think that's a thumbs up. Paula, are you happy to be on the screen with us live on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
fine.
Wonderful.
Got to be on screen.
Yes.
All right. Happy to be on screen with us live on YouTube. I'm just muting you guys up because what you need to do is you need to turn off your viewing tab and just watch via the link I sent you, okay? Because otherwise we'll get a lot of feedback like that. The idea tonight is we are, as you can see, raising a glass for freedom, respect, and the corks are popping already, I think. A lot of feedback like that. And people are ready to drink, aren't they? A glass for freedom. Carlos, you're getting an echo from your system there, mister. I'll give you some instructions in just a moment. Carlos is saying yes twice, in fact. Good afternoon, all. From Elisa, are you joining us as well, Elisa, tonight? I hope you are. And Joel is here, night from Joel. Yes, Gary, beckoning people in. It's the right thing to do, isn't it? Happy Saturday, Joel, as well, from Atlanta, Georgia, from Victoria Benson. So, I don't know where to begin here. It might be good to go with the doc, who's actually been on a May Day march today. But, what I'd like to do is toast people today, because there are a lot of people to toast. People we've lost, people who've been poorly, the workers who've been looking after them. There's a lot to raise a glass, as well as, going forward, freedom, respect, and health. What about the people who've worked so hard and the people who've suffered in the last year? So there are many reasons to raise a glass tonight, and I'd like you to just take your pick on that and chip in with who you'd want to toast. But maybe first, Andy, the workers. Let's let Andy represent the workers.
Absolutely. So May Day was always the people's holiday, and it developed over the last couple of 100 years into the workers' holiday, celebrated around the world by workers' organisations. And I was on a May Day march today, which was really making some very limited demands, like a shorter working week, 35 hours. If we've got so much unemployment, we ought to be able to spread the work around a bit. A 35-hour maximum working week, a decent minimum wage, and protection of the health service. And my glass, when my darling sommelier is ready, will be raised to the workers who have kept us safe, who've risked their lives in the case of particularly those in the health services around the world. Many of them having, losing their lives as a result. Health workers going down to succumbing to COVID, but also the workers who continued their manual work, who couldn't work from home. Those in the factories and in the public services, the skeleton services that had to remain open, who worked in very difficult conditions, often bearing the brunt of people's frustration during this time. So, my glass is raised to the workers.
Shall we start there, everybody? To the workers!
To the workers.
Oh, my
Thanks,
word.
guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much. The workers all over the world, right? The unsung heroes in so many cases as well. Well said, Doc. Well said. Anybody want to step forward with a toasting idea? It's not a drinking game, honestly.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yes, please.
Go on, Penny.
Okay, well, I'd like to raise a glass to all those single parents who've battled away, working from home whilst raising children in flats without gardens, trying to homeschool and work at the same time, all by themselves. I think they've just been there in the background, very unsupported. So here's to them.
Yes.
Well done, you guys.
Single parents.
Yeah.
The single parents.
Yes. Again, unsung, often unseen, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anybody else? I mean, let's please also in the comments, if you're not on the screen, you can still make a suggestion to who we should toast. Gary, Austin household.
You know where I'm going, Carl.
I think I might do.
My mum.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and to my stepfather Bucko, who we lost in the pandemic as well. So what was sorry, Gary, remind me of your mum's name.
Well, her proper name was Jeanette, but they used to call her Jan. Jeanette. Yeah.
So Jan, Jenny, and Jeanette, and to Bucko.
Jan and Bucko.
Yes,
Really what you would have wanted.
peace, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Raise a roof, boys.
This isn't going to be a very long show at this rate.
Be on the floor.
Right. Let's give people a chance to catch up here, and maybe we'll talk about the Portuguese wines. If you are drinking Portuguese wine tonight, you might want to say something about it. Paula, and your companion, or two companions there, maybe you'd like to introduce yourself to us. What brings you here tonight?
Okay, this is my husband, John.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
And this is Izzy.
Hello, Izzy.
Really not sure what's going on here, but and we're joining because we are looking to move over to the Silver Coast as soon as possible. Really, we've sold our house, and we're coming over at the end of May, hopefully, fingers crossed, to look for property or rentals, just to have a different. We just need to get away from Britain right now.
Yes. Okay, John, Paula, Izzy, you've chosen a very good part of Portugal, I have to say.
We're looking at the Caldash area.
Yes, I'm moving there next weekend.
So we heard.
Yes,
To
yes,
the east.
indeed.
We're still trying to work out which village you're talking about.
It's Fanadia, and I didn't want to say this because I know my colleagues here will laugh at me that I live in a little town called Fanadia. But
Carl, I live in El Viagra, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
and I was just thinking, Gary is going to love this. Gary and Linda are going to love this. They finally get their own back with Carl moving to Fanadia, basically. So, but yes, near to Caldash there. So yeah, well, good luck with your plans there, John, Paula, and Izzy there. Other pets to come as well.
One other down there, Buster.
Buster's coming as well.
I'm very tempted
Oh, hello,
to live
Buster.
at home right now.
Yes. Are these Bichon Frise dogs?
They're crosses between poodles and Bichon Frises.
Oh, not far off. Okay, excellent. All right, brilliant. And Carlos,
Hi all.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
And
Okay.
what brings you here tonight?
So I'm Portuguese. I found you during this pandemic. I was always looking for things to entertain me while I'm teleworking. So I start seeing you at 9 a.m. So, and then I joined. Okay. It seems a good. I'm not an expat from another country, but me and my wife are finishing recovering her father's house in Faro. So, and we plan to move there.
I'm so flattered when Portuguese people watch the show or anything we do as part of this network. So I'm really grateful to you. Parabéns.
Oh, no need to be.
Carlos, can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
I just wonder, why are you travelling all the way through the Alentejo to get to Faro? Surely you'd want to stop at the Alentejo rather than going all the way through.
I will get you there. My wife was raised in Alentejo in Beja. So we, our mother's house is in the small village, okay, with mines, okay. But this is the house we got, okay, in Faro, and I love the beach and I love fishing. So I'm just here. Okay.
Hold on a minute. Stop holding up his fanny. What is that? Okay.
Fanny Craddock.
It's a aniseed
Pasties.
Pasties.
Yeah.
Do you know, there was a thing on Facebook before about name a drink that you remember from young you cannot drink anymore, and that was one of them. Well, it wasn't pasties. Oh, it was it pasties? No, what's the other one? The Pernod. It was Pernod. Yeah, it was Pernod. I was 16, and I've been drinking beforehand. It was cider and lager to start with, snake bites. Snake bites, and then we went on to Pernod. And all I remember is I fell off the back of my mate's motorbike. Just was laughing silly. It didn't hurt me. Well, I couldn't feel anything. I don't think. I just couldn't stop laughing. So he eventually stopped and picked me up, put me back on again. And then all I remember is being collected by the police asleep under the set of stairs in a multi-story car park at early hours in the morning. And some vandals had come down and smashed all the windows and lights, spray painted everything. And they come and arrested me, thought it was me. And when I told them, I didn't hear a thing. They just didn't believe me, but I really did not hear a thing.
Well,
and to this day, the smell of it just makes me want to vomit.
Yes, I bet.
I remember at the age of 17 falling out the back of a Land Rover after a rugby match. I'd had far too much, I think, scrumpy in the changing room, Guinness in the pub, and then whiskey after that.
That'll do it.
Yuck. Oh, man. We're getting a few more toasts coming in, folks. Thank you, Carlos, by the way. And yeah, best of both worlds, Alentejo and Algarve, by the sound of it, right? For Carlos and his wife.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it, Carlos. Evening all from Ian Turner in Hertfordshire in the UK, joining the serial drinkers tonight. It's just been a run of it. I mean, what was it? Wine Club Thursday, Man Cave last night, and this raising a glass to freedom, respect, and health. It's just the way it went with the calendar. Aussie Merlot
and beer last Monday morning.
Oh yes, and that as well. But apart from that, it's been quite a dry week. Aussie Merlot in the glass tonight after finishing a very nice Rioja. Well, that sounds like the Turner household are having quite a drink up tonight as well. Nubianette is with us again. Really appreciate that, Nubianette. Now, I'll really be tempted to give up my strict keto ways since I'm at home and not at work. Oh, of course, it's the carbs in the alcohol, isn't it, that's going to mess with your keto diet there. But special occasion tonight. Special occasion. Looking forward to more freedom and, you know, having a bit of a reflection of the past year or so as well. So, Nubianette, I hope you think that's a good reason to break your keto ways temporarily. Bon night from the Warren Loves over in North Carolina, Saud, and right back at you there, Andrew and Lauren. Saud, Tammy and I raising a glass for May Day. Cheers, Steve and Tammy. Good evening to you. You can join us on the screen, folks. The link's there. You're very welcome. I think we can get 10 people on the screen, so come and join us if you wish to. If you want to make the toast personally. Big up for all those who've gone above and beyond over the last year to keep us safe and fed. Yes, Ian, here. Well said, mate. Gemini Bradshaw's here with a simple hello so far. All the teachers from Andrew also doing remote teaching while also being tech support for schools. Can you imagine running a class on Zoom of 20 or 30 kids? What is that like?
My daughter ran an assembly for her school from Zoom. She came to visit me and said, "I'm sorry, Mum, I've just got to do an assembly."
How many kids?
They were they're just amazing. I mean, all the kids have been logging on every single day. They've been 99% attendance, and they've been running assemblies every day for different year groups.
You see, this is the way of the future. Do you think this has been a sea change in the way that we see life and the way we work, the way we educate our young, etc., etc.? It's, I mean, family and friends of mine now have been working from home for over a year. In fact, although they work in London in the finance industry, they've actually worked from Portugal for the last 3 months. They've been going back to London for 2 weeks. They're coming back to work another month here before they go off to Saudi. But all of a sudden, surely these businesses must be thinking, why are we spending like hundreds of thousands a year on renting these places in the cities, in the capitals, in London, New York, wherever, when, hold on, they can all work from their kitchen table or wherever it may be and do exactly the same thing. And I can really see this a sea change for the way businesses run.
It will be difficult. It will be difficult in Portugal, okay, because Portugal business owners are not there yet, okay. My wife works for a Canadian company. They already said no more office, okay. From now on, it will be always from home.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I work at a huge bank, okay, and they just want us to get back, okay.
Yeah.
Because Portuguese bosses or middle bosses, okay. The problem with the teleworking is it's who is responsible as to work hard to keep it together, plan, supervise, etc. And that's difficult for a Portuguese guy.
But Carlos, that's different? That's different with front-facing staff. I understand, but back office stuff, people who are
I was an IT guy, and now I work. I made a change, and I work with selling the houses people don't pay. Okay, it's not. I'm not talking.
Can I get your number?
Me too.
Oh, don't try it, because only trash gets to the part we sell to the public. Okay.
You work for Millennium or Santander? Which one?
It's the Spanish guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that narrows it.
But I'm talking about the back office, not the front office. Okay. The front office. Okay. When I was the IT manager, okay, we did projects that make only 3 people per branch. Okay. So there's no cutting more there. Okay. So now they are starting to cut on the back office. Okay.
Yeah, it's a concern. You can only cut so much. You can only take so much meat off the bone, and that's the issue.
The issue is that they are using this crisis. Okay, they are going to cut, so they can't rotate the people. Okay, send the old guys home, and because we earn big salaries. Okay, so they cut the old guys and go get the new guys, paying like 800 euros a month. Okay, it's life. Okay, no problem. I want them to fire me so I can come live in the Algarve forever.
That's very philosophical.
Okay, but they have to fire me because I need the to go to the unemployment and something like that. I can't go by myself. Okay.
What an irony! On May
That's
Day,
quite apt, considering it's Labor Day today, and I can see them. I can see them doing it. I can see them using this to get rid of people. You know?
Yeah, but man, it's life. Because when I started there 20 years ago, I was one of the new guys, and I pushed the old people. Okay, I did it.
I remember.
I did it. Okay.
Where's Carlos? Carlos. Anybody who recognizes Carlos from when he was younger, there's a space on the screen if you want to talk to him tonight. And have a drink with him.
I think you know what's going to happen with the reduction in occupancy of commercial property. There's going to be more being transformed into residential property, and the prices of residential property will fall, which will be great for the homeless crisis.
Doc, don't. That's not going to happen in Portugal. The prices of the residential property never will go down.
I'm just saying what will happen in many places. If you look at
yes, but not in Portugal, okay?
Sure.
Because in Portugal, the households never went down on price. We had the 2008 crisis, and the prices still kept the same.
Interesting. There's a property surplus here as well, of course, isn't there?
Yeah, and in Portugal, it's cheaper to buy than to rent.
Yeah.
If you get the bank to loan you the money,
it's really good for landlords. It's really good for that. I've got a small property portfolio in Jersey, and we're lucky to gross 3% return on residential net properties. The only good side is that the capital increases quite considerably. So even though we've got a 3% gross and probably around about 2% net return, the property, I mean, over the last 7 years, I've averaged around between 8 and 10% increase in capital value. So add that onto your really low income return on the rental, it gives you an overall really good return. But in Portugal, I think your rental returns are good, but your capital growth is really pretty poor. Your property's not going up fantastically, is it?
no, it depends. The reason the rental is good because when you manage to get rid of the old tenant and get a new one, you can put the price there. But for example, my wife has like 4 apartments in central Faro, rent under $200 €200 a month because they are old rents. Okay. And we can't do nothing because we spent like 10K recovering one building. Okay, and the income is like €2,000 a year.
I looked at a place in Lagos, similar. It was really good. It was amazing value, 2-bedroom apartment in Lagos, and it was something like €65,000. And I looked at that, I thought that's just amazing. But then the people that have been there forever, and they're on a lease. And I don't think drawing in the leases there's an annual rent review, so they're on peanuts, basically paying peanuts, and you're stuck there until they die.
Up the workers.
Yes, but it's better. It's better now with the new law. Okay. No, it's better now with the new law because in the new law you just have to wait them to die because with the old law, the sons and the daughters will have the lease also.
Oh, I see. Right. Gee, that's even worse. I need to send someone like the doc around. Scare them to death.
Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it? Fairness for people's homes. It's outrageous.
Landlords, don't you just hate them?
No, don't laugh, Carl, because there are lots of Portuguese people that their only income is rent.
You know, there's something wrong with that. Obviously, that's the balance is way off. Whichever way you look at it, the balance is way off. I think probably the EU should subsidise the shortfall. How about that as a solution?
I don't think it's the EU. It has to be the government because I understand that old people that have low incomes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, with pensions, we can't raise the rent, but that's a social part of the business. So the government should pay the difference. Okay.
It makes sense.
There should be a market rent for each place, okay? And the government should, if they want the owners not to throw out the people, they should pay the surplus.
It makes sense.
Because
housing benefit. Absolutely.
There's lots of people in Portugal that live from the only income is rents because their grandfather bought a house or something like that. So they can. That's only the only income they have.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. There's something wrong with the picture at the moment. Gary, go on.
Can we say hello to Ian and Stephen Tammy, please? Yes.
Thanks, Garbo.
How you doing, guys?
Very well.
Ian,
Doing well.
Very well.
Go to Ian first. Ian, are you in Australia? Was it? Is that where you are?
Hardly. I'm just north of the M25.
Oh, it's not much difference, is it? Not too different.
I need to drill down a bit to get to us. I was in Australia last January, but that doesn't quite count, does it?
Okay.
So, but I am drinking Aussie wine.
Oh, that's what that's what I picked it up.
We finished a Rioja off earlier, so the next one open was an Aussie Merlot. From Victoria, so down near Melbourne
and
somewhere.
How does Portuguese wine compare with that then? Because I quite like Australian wine.
to be honest, I find New World wines, particularly Aussie reds, a bit samey, a bit fruity, and easy drinking, but no subtlety to them. They kind of, it's like that old Monty Python sketch, wasn't it? Did you ever?
Yes.
They sort of sneak up behind you,
Chateau Blue too.
hit you on the head. So this one's it's a nice fruity wine, but it's having come from really quite a nice Rioja, it's a bit of a come down. So but Portuguese wines I just love. I'm a real convert. I've just run out of them. We've drunk them all.
Oh, sacrilege!
Easily done.
Wait for the next. Sorry, Carl.
And how's about Steve and Tammy? Good evening, both of you. Are you well?
We are
Well, thank you.
very well.
And where are you guys from?
We're in Chicago in the United States.
Oh, the Windy City.
The windy city.
Yes, it is.
Chicago, Illinois.
Lake Michigan.
Yes.
Very
So that
close.
part of the world.
Yeah. I used to have an office in Bloomfield Hills in Detroit, and we'd make the journey from there to Chicago quite regularly.
Man of the
That's our
world.
drive.
Yeah. I always knew I was heading to Chicago when you come around the bottom of the lake and go past the dunes and then head up. Lovely part of the world.
It's usually most fun during winter time when the snow's blowing off the lake and a foot at a time. So it's,
Snow
Yeah,
blowing
I
off the lake.
remember.
I don't like the sound of that.
No.
They had snow in Birmingham.
I think we should raise a glass to our US brethren's afternoon drinkers.
Your fortitude, sir. Your fortitude.
Cheers.
Yeah, for 6 hours, isn't it? So 2:30.
Right,
yes.
I'm gonna have to
Is
ask.
this still lunch? Is this still lunch, Steve?
Of course, we're getting ready for it. We're actually going to a Kentucky Derby
Party.
party in a little bit, so we're warming up for that.
That's what I like to hear.
The appetizer, if you will.
Very good, very good. Right, I'm going to have to, with so many of us on the screen, I'm going to have to ask you to do Zoom rules. So you mute your mics unless you want to speak, all right? And then we'll probably be able to hear each other a bit better. Sorry to be a bit like headmasterly about it, but we'll have a much better sound quality if we do that. We've got a few greetings as well tonight. It's gone really quiet now, probably a bit too quiet. Hello from Bavaria. Thank you, Gary, for inviting me from Christine Lance. Cheers, Gary. What?
Christine is one of the most loveliest human beings you'll ever meet. She's a good friend of ours, and I'm so glad she's turned up. Love you, Christine. Hope to see you soon.
Cheers, Christine.
We'll raise a glass to that, to lovely human beings everywhere, including you, Christine. Thanks for joining us. Ian was quick with the pasties response there for you, Doc. Very funny, Doc. I think falling out the back of the Land Rover. Victoria Benson raising a glass to the car, and I think that might be to me, to the Carl and the Good Morning Portugal show. Many thanks for keeping us laughing, sane. I can't really put my name to that, Victoria. Informed and together, if only virtually till now. Muito obrigado. Looking forward to meeting you, Victoria. Thank you very much for that. Yes, I'll happily raise a glass to that. Stephen, evening all. Hello, Stephen. Good to have your company. Michael Bliss Music, hello all from Nashville, celebrating with you. Opened a Vida Duro Red, very good. Cheers to you, sold. Jordinja's here as well. Good evening all. Boa tarde a todos. Going back to the property talk, we were hijacked by a real bout of capitalism, weren't we, a little bit ago? No point having a bunch of new expensive flats in London if there are no workers there that need to be in London. The game is changing. I think it's very interesting to see what's going to be happening socially, politically. Anna Milne, cheers everyone. Happy 1st of May. Cheers to you, Anna. Happy 1st of May. I think I do need some microphones back on. It's gone horribly quiet. Benoit, Carl, Gary, and Andy. A full house tonight from Joao Mendonça, who was really brilliant last night. It was great to talk to you last night, Joao. Really enjoyed that in the man cave. DJ says, hola, day drinking is the official sport of Atlanta on the weekend, so I hope you're having a great time, Victoria. Carl, I love the way you take control like you know who. Ooh. Oh, Margaret Thatcher. No! Do I take control like Margaret Thatcher? Victoria Benson here. Oh, at Victoria Benson here in Oakland, California as well. Daytime drinking at the weekend with Nubianet there. Juan Sanchez Ponce from Spain tonight. Hello, Juan. Great to meet you. Have your acquaintance tonight. Ponce, I think is your surname, isn't it? Ponce. And DJ, any ideas on where I can buy a small Quinta farm with a stream running through the land, ideally not far from the coast, but I'm open-minded. You need to be. That's a prerequisite, isn't it? But I think Gary's got the answer to that. Go on, Gary.
Plenty of choices. Most of the property agents will have something along those lines. And if you come inland a bit, the prices go down. So where we are in central Portugal, we're just probably about an hour to the local sort of seaside resort, and the property comes down dramatically in price. So have a look around, come here, spend a few weeks if you can, tour around and see what suits you. That's my advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Gary. Fiona's here as well. Hello, Fiona. With you all raising a mug of time tea, feeling blech with a sinus issue, but still joining the positivity, at least until I fall asleep. Oh, happy Bel. Oh, yes, happy Beltane to all as well. To all you, I guess a pagan festival, right, Beltane? I'd love to hear a bit more about that. If we can have a pagan join us on screen, preferably clothed. But if you know, it's up to you. If you want to tell us about Beltane, and if you're mid festivity, come on and tell us all about it. Frida,
most of us are pagans, aren't we, Carl?
Well, we are, but are we practicing or lapsed pagans?
Well, I think we're proving we're not lapsed.
Well, okay, ultra pagans.
It was actually National Naked Gardening Day here in Britain, so I was hoping to see a few pagans out doing their gardening, but I have to admit, I
was building raised beds.
How's your melons coming on, Pen?
Doing nicely.
I tell you
a
what,
little overripe now.
if you were naked gardening in Birmingham today, you'd be doing it in the snow, apparently.
Oh no, really?
On the 1st of May, yeah.
It's lovely down here in Devon today. I was in
I'd have to pull my groats out.
What? Get your groats out?
I said I have to pull my groats out.
What are you talking about, Willis? Yeah, we were talking about naked gardening, and then somebody said raised bed. I mean, it brings a whole new meaning to a raised bed, doesn't it, Ian Turner?
It does. Sorry, I'm building them in the garden. Now we finished building our house, we're just sort of building stuff in the garden. So, but right. It was a raised bed. It is a raised bed. It's just not finished.
My bushes today.
And on it goes.
This is going downhill very rapidly, isn't it?
I looked at buying a raised bed, but it was no good because I had to use a little step to get up onto it.
Just as well it wasn't a water bed as well.
By the way, Pen, did you manage to get your rug clean?
Yeah, I gave it.
Someone's got a cat, I hope.
It's Minnie.
In the back. Oh, is that your cat, Neil?
Yes, Minnie. You've seen her since she was this big.
Yeah. Is she going to come and see us tonight? She's going to sit on
trouble.
you. Probably.
I don't put my 3 dogs in, it would be chaos.
Oh, go on, let's do it. Good evening from Ribamar, Sarah from Colin. Hello, Colin. Join us on screen if you wish to, my friend. DJ, what area are you in, Gary? A bit more info, please. Alviagra, we know it as. Tell us more.
It's actually the proper name is Alviazra, and
what?
It sits roughly in between the lovely town of Tamar, which is a Knights Templar city, and then if you go further up north, you run into Coimbra, which is the old capital of Portugal. So that's roughly where I am.
There you go, DJ.
Sorry, Nini just stole the limelight there, Gary.
Yeah. Sorry.
She has grown.
She's big now.
This is
men and your pussies. I don't
honestly,
know.
yeah. And this is Athena calendar stuff. So I expect to see this going viral on Facebook. Man and cat in the Alentejo. Here we go. Oh,
nothing like an Alentejo pussy.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So they say, Juan says, nice to see all of you. I will travel to Portugal in summer. Yeah, knock on our doors, Juan.
Oh,
and
stop laughing.
we'll be glad to have a glass of Portuguese wine with you. Not drinking tonight, says Bearders22. Found a cheeky Sumol Maracuja, however, in a Portuguese shop in the UK. Sumol.
Wow.
Excellent. Well done. Well done. I'm looking for a place to live there next year. That's interesting. Do many Spanish people come this way across the border? Do many Spanish people head west, Juan? Maybe you could tell us that, because there is an uneasy relationship in some ways between the two countries. But I'd be interested to know more.
That's
Carlos.
not true, Carl. Okay, that's
Okay, go
not
on.
true anymore. Okay,
Okay,
my
so-
wife lived in Madrid for 6 years. Okay, most of our best friends are from Madrid now, and they travel to Portugal every year. Okay, that's for the news. Okay,
Yeah, great.
we and the Spanish guys, we just are close friends. Okay, no problem.
And the border's just been unlocked again today. So
Yes, today. Okay, there's finally we can go to Mercadona.
Excellent. And get cheap petrol.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very expensive now again. I don't understand it.
I'm
Okay.
gonna fill my trailer up with some tanks.
Okay, because I really don't get it, because it's too expensive in Portugal.
The petrol.
Yeah, the petrol.
As well, yeah.
It's like
Pretty
€1
expensive here now.
Yeah, €1.50 the diesel. Okay, I don't get it. Okay.
No, and it's not really supply and demand, is it? Classical economics would suggest that if the demand has gone down because no one's driving anywhere in the lockdown, the price might be low, but that's not the case, is it?
Yeah, you're right. I don't get it. Okay, the problem with the market in Portugal, it doesn't work. Okay, because the supply and demand doesn't work. Okay.
The market doesn't work
It's about-
anywhere.
Yeah, I think you're right. Unfortunately, you're right. It's the market for friends, as I call it. Okay.
Yeah, of course it is. Absolutely. Good evening from Botswana. Happy May Day. Drinking a South African screw. Is this a friend of yours, Pippa Young, Penny?
No, just saying hello.
Oh, excellent. Good evening to you, Pippa. Great to have you come in. The bed I'm watching from is raised. I just thought I'd mention. Well done, Fiona. Thanks. I'll look at that. Alvazara, of course, the proper name. Alyssa likes your cat there, Neil. A beautiful cat. What's the? Sorry, remind us of your cat's name, Neil.
Nini bikini, because she's got little white patches where it looks like a white bikini she's got on, but she looks completely black until you lift her up.
All right, Carlos. Good evening to you as well, Carlos. Thanks for joining us. Diogo is here. Hi all. Good evening. All looking in good company. I will try to get there in the summer as well. Please do, Diogo. It'd be lovely to meet you. Juan says I'm from Badajoz in I hope I've said that right. Badajoz in Spain. Bearders22. There is a Spanish couple on YouTube called Modern House Cabin. They are building a place in central Portugal. Check them out. Good recommendation. Thank you very much. Fiona Worrell, I think the fuel prices rose again due to the posturing between Russia and the Ukraine. Always if there's war talk, prices spike. Could well be, Fiona. Excellent bit of geopolitical insight there. Evening all. Last comment will come to you, Ian. Evening all. Just spent a fabulous day with Farmer for Fun and his mum and dad. What a lovely sunset. Beautiful evening over in Fundao by the
He's
sound
a
of it.
lovely chap, isn't he?
The Farmer
Come on, Pete.
I saw
get on this
time
phone,
on your chat the other morning. I just thought he is absolutely brilliant. He just should be on TV. It's just this. He's this. Remember, not last the summer wine. What's that? The TV program. Yeah, the TV program. Darling Buds of May with Pop Larkin. Just like
Pop. No, not Lost of Summer Wine.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, no less.
Yeah.
All right, calm down, fellas.
He's such a lovely character. I'd love to meet him.
He is a lovely bloke, without a doubt. Pete will attest to that.
And the name of that show.
The Marshes aren't unlike the Larkins. They are such lovely people. They really are. You know, the whole family absolutely super. Ian, I think you wanted to interject.
Yeah, I was just going to say the cost of diesel here is between 125 and 128 sterling, so that's getting up towards €1.50.
Yeah.
You know, Ian, I was sitting here trying to think about it, and I thought I actually haven't filled my car up since a year ago last March. I'm
You're
sure
not
my
getting-
husband has, but I've not been to a petrol station in all that time.
Is it petrol or diesel, Pen?
It's diesel.
Petrol or diesel? Oh, you'll have to drain the tank. It's no good now after a year.
Well, no, it has. He has been driving it. When I sent him out to forage, he's been out there foraging.
Send them out to forage.
He's been anywhere and done anything. So
Yeah, foraging in
I'm just
Tesco's.
kidding. Just kidding.
Don't you just light a fire underneath it with diesel or something? Maybe not. Don't try that.
How old are you, Carl?
Yeah. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Carl told me.
That's it. And then spin your crank handle as well at the same time while setting fire underneath the diesel tank. Victoria Benson is having a light Pinot, obviously, in advance of a gathering with friends, an early day of work tomorrow. I'm sure I'm not the only person to snigger at the name Pinot. What place do you recommend to me to live in Portugal? Okay, you will have nine opinions now, Juan. You asked for it. We'll go around the room. Is it Laria from you, Doc?
Yeah, well, central, but Leiria definitely. But no, sorry, Leiria, but definitely central. Yeah.
Was that central but Leary?
No,
Larry.
He's the Larry lefty from Leiria.
Yeah,
definitely.
The Larry dog.
Penny, where should Juan live in Portugal?
well, I mean, I've only been to Lisbon, but I'm a little bit drawn towards the Silver Coast, I have to say, from what I've seen. Although I'd love the weather in the Algarve, but I don't fancy all the holiday makers and all that stuff. So.
Oh, having come from Brixham in Devon yourself, you know that.
I'm fed up with them.
Avoid the grockles. Avoid the grockles.
Yes.
Go on,
all the
Carlos.
brummies. The Algarve instead.
Yeah.
There's lots of those on the Silver Coast.
No, it's easy. You should live in Alentejo during the year. Okay, during the summer, you should live in Alentejo, and then you can go to the Algarve during the winter, because nobody's here in the winter.
Well said.
It's only a couple of hours drive, isn't it, Carlos?
Yeah, it's easy in Portugal. Okay, it's one of I think the main features we sell. Okay, pre-COVID, me and my wife usually we travel to the United States because I love it. It's a huge country. Lots to find out. We rent a car and just go for 3 weeks driving. Okay. But Portugal is easy because I can be in Lisbon and 3 hours to any part of the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you say Portugal is small. Before I came here, I lived in an island called Jersey. That is 9 miles. We're talking like 15 kilometers by about 12 kilometers.
But Portugal also has 1, 2 or 3 islands of that. You can go to Madeira and Açores.
Yeah, I've been to Madeira a few times.
Yeah.
Okay. Really nice.
Lots of people love there, but
Porto Santo.
To live there, there's a problem. If you go to the cafe in the morning, you meet same people that you go to the restaurant in the lunch.
In the evening.
The restaurant in the evening, to the mall, it's the same people. Okay, it's always the same people. Okay, people usually don't get this, but after 6 months, always seeing the same people, it's a problem.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah. Like I tried living in Jersey for 40 years.
It could be Sark.
That's how the police knew where to find you, Neil, because of that.
What do you think? I moved here.
Paul, when you were found under the stairs in a car park is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Paula Rooney, and John, where should Juan move to in Portugal?
Depends what you want, really. I've got friends who've lived in the Algarve and the Western Algarve for the last 12 years and love it. Not for me, too hot in the summer particularly, and too commercial if I'm honest. And I've watched Lagos go from being really a lovely little town to being something that's becoming really commercial these days, and particularly in the summer. And I just think, for me, the Silver Coast is a much more, and I know there are tourists in the Silver Coast as well, but if you go inland a little bit, then I think you get the best of both worlds.
There you go. Well, getting some good advice tonight. But none of us are charging apart from a glass of wine when you get here.
Yeah, but you shouldn't advertise it, okay?
Oh, yes.
You know,
Okay.
where I live in Lisbon, there's a road that's called the EC19 that has such a bad name because 10 years ago it was like 3 hours to do like 12 kilometers. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
But since then it developed. Okay. So now you get to Lisbon like in 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay. But the people who live there, like we just don't say it. We always say it. Oh, no, don't go to the EC19 line because it's the worst. Okay. Go to Cascais and Oeiras or something like that and pay the toll and get like 1 hour to get to Lisbon. But not to the IC19 road, okay? Because it's the worst.
Make a note, everybody. The IC19 is a great place to live now.
Oh, Carl, don't do that.
Neil, you're.
I think the beauty of Portugal is there's nowhere bad to live in Portugal, and because the island is the country is so compact. I think if you sort of headed towards central Portugal, within 2 hours maximum driving, you could be visiting pretty much anywhere in the country. So, you know, if you're pretty much central, an hour and so you're in Lisbon on the west coast or anywhere along the west coast, Nazaré or wherever. Yeah, an hour or so you're heading to Spain. You're in Spain. An hour or two north, you're up in towards Porto and Coimbra, and heading south, you're down in the Alentejo, and then heading towards the Algarve. So
Neil,
there's nowhere horrible in Portugal. It's all absolutely beautiful.
But Neil, we are human beings. Okay, that's fine for 2 months. But then you will say, oh, 1 hour to get to the beach. Oh, what a drum. I will not go because it's not acceptable. 1 hour.
So as Anna said, then you need to buy 3 houses. And
that is the solution, isn't it? That's the solution. Right, Steve, tell me. You thought I wasn't going to ask you, but you can advise, as people living in Chicago, you can advise a Spaniard where to live in Portugal. Here is your moment.
Well, you know, and just leaning on what Carlos just said, I think he described perfectly the challenge that we go through right now as we're considering where we land. You know, do we want to be near the coast? So I think we're going to look a little bit further north. So we've been looking more in the Porto area for that.
Silver Coast.
Down into the Silver Coast in Navarro. But I think also we've really loved a lot of what Coimbra has to offer with a city life, but really close to a mountainous, park area that beautiful outdoors. I think that's a nice combination for what we enjoy. The Algarve for us doesn't really hold a lot of interest right now. I think for us, we're really looking for more of what happens in the country, sort of center north. So that's where we're looking.
Try looking at Évora. It's an hour from Lisbon, an hour from Comport and all the west coast beaches where all the beautiful people go. An hour from Spain, you've got a fantastic city there of Évora. It's the capital of the Alentejo, and it's the most beautiful part of the country, without a doubt.
Yeah, I lived there for 2 years.
To the west.
So
I lived in Évora for 2 years.
What did Carlos say?
Yeah, I lived in Évora for 2 years. My father is a military guy, and he was stationed there for a lot of things. The problem with Évora.
There's no problem with Évora.
Okay, the problem with Évora is that it's Évora. Okay, it's so nothing happens. Okay, if you are looking for that, nothing happens. Okay.
Okay. If you're looking for a nightclub.
No, not nightclub. The problem is it's not so close to the coast. Okay, Évora is not
an hour.
Okay. not an hour, okay, 1 hour 40 minutes, okay, to the.
Well, it depends what part of the coast you want to go to.
Yeah, to Troia.
Fight.
Okay.
Yeah, but Troia you have to go down and round and back up. So and then Troia is on a peninsula. So, but if you want to go towards Setúbal and on the beaches around there,
Setúbal is north of Troia, okay.
Yeah, so but you haven't got to go down and around.
No, but the best way from ever to go to the beach, you just go to a straight line, okay, and just go to the beaches near. About 1 hour, 15 minutes. How's it called? How's it called? My memory is I'm getting old, okay?
See, my memory is fresh. I'm young. See, I remember a lot close.
No, you have where are the festivals, okay? Near Melides.
Yeah, there's a big place there.
That's 1 hour 30 from Évora. But you have to drive like a Portuguese.
Yeah, of course.
Can I just say that one of the things we were thinking about when we moved, where we live now in Shropshire, we're only 40 minutes from the coast. Beautiful coastline. Do we go? No, because it's 40 minutes.
That's the problem, I think.
And we're the best one in the world. You think it's only 40 minutes away.
For the first 3 months, you go, okay? And then you don't go. Because it's 40 minutes.
I live 10 minutes from the coast. That's doable. 10 minutes is doable. 40 minutes, you think,
it's what you get used to. Let's face it, in Jersey, no one could live any closer to all of the beaches than I used to. Did we go to the beach every day? No, we didn't. Of course you didn't. You still didn't. So if you want to go to the beach, but then again, I'm not particularly a beach guy. I love to be close to the coast. Don't get me wrong. I grew up there, but I like to have a pool and the privacy of the pool. But you've got all of the lakes in the Alentejo. How many lakes are there in the Alentejo? Which is beautiful. You can go sailing, you can go surfboarding, you can go kiteboarding, you can do sailing, you can go motorboats, you can do anything you want on Alquiva and the other dams. So it all depends if you want the beach or not on the coast, the sea.
Yeah. You have to be a beach guy. You have to be a beach guy like me.
Thing is, right, that we haven't talked about here is you don't actually need to go to the seaside because we've got that lovely phenomenon called river beaches.
I love that. The seaside.
Wonderful. They are so good. You know, I'd never really heard of one or experienced one before I came here, but yeah, I'd go to the seaside, but I'd equally go to the river beach because it's just as good. And the water's clean.
They do sound wonderful, but I suppose I've lived here for 51 years, I think, in Brixham. And I don't know.
So you were born there, Penny, yeah?
No. I moved here when I was 13.
Oh, well said, Neil. Look, come on, Penny, take it.
Sorry, yes, I was. Yeah.
Boom.
So I don't know. I just find it a real wrench to move away from the ocean. But I do love the river beaches, and I love lakes as well. So
yeah, there's great lake beaches and river beaches in the Alentejo. Loads of them.
Well,
but if you love the wildness of the sea, and I think the Atlantic particularly it just invigorates me somehow, and it's that.
It does.
That's what I really love.
I have to say, I agree with you. I mean, I miss being, even though we didn't go to. I'm not really a beach person a lot, even though I was so close to the beach all my life. I never spent a huge amount of time on the beach at all. But I love being by the beach. Every day I would drive past the sea. Every single day I would see the sea. And that's something I miss, I have to say. I do love it. I know what you're saying. Just seeing it.
Absolutely.
And when you've got children, you know, I took my children to the beach. I took my grandchildren to the beach. So I walk my dogs on the beach. It's just, it's a wonderful thing to have on your doorstep.
I wonder if Juan is any the wiser now. I think, or have we just confused him even further? Okay, let's go to a few.
Rioja's done its job.
Yeah, for sure. Evening, Carl, and everyone in sunny Cheshire. Oh, sorry, and everyone from sunny Cheshire. I have a very important question for all. If I decide to retire in Portugal, will I become an alcoholic and overweight, as I love to? Yes.
Yay! You can do that just as easily in England.
Absolutely.
However, Ian might have something to say about this.
Yeah, you don't have to retire.
Yeah, don't retire.
It's not about It's not about retiring. You have to do a little bit of work to be able to grow old disgracefully. That's the answer.
Yes.
I missed that, Ian.
You have to do a little bit of work to grow old disgracefully.
I haven't found it work. I found it very easily.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby for Doc. So Simon, kind of yes and no, and watch this space for maintaining a racing snake figure like me and Ian, whilst indulging yourself.
Was that after you've eaten a pig or something?
Yes.
In a year's time, Carl, in a year's time, you'll only be able to get 4 of us on the screen.
I think it's going to be like we're going to do our own YouTube ad where it goes, I can eat a whole suckling pig and a tosh de mista at every meal, and I'm only 10 stone.
And then I'm ready for a main course.
Yes, subscribe to find out more. Beardus22. Joe from Farm Up for Fun is from Mid Suffolk, near me in Bury St Edmunds. He went to the same school that my wife used to teach at. Fantastic. That's a small world. Since Gary was a bit biased about Central Portugal, I didn't notice that. My turn, I will say the north of Portugal, Porto district. Terrible place. Terrible place.
Too cold. Beautiful, but too cold.
Central of Portugal area, Tomar Figueira de Foz, says Diogo. That's the recommendation to you.
Tomar, beautiful.
Neil, you aren't wrong. We went out for the first meal they have had out in a year, and honestly, it couldn't have been lovelier, but we seem to have adopted a dog thanks to Mariana and the leftovers. Excellent. Mariana and the leftovers.
What was I not wrong about, Peter? Because it's quite rare.
How lovely the marshes are.
I thought Peter was the one who was moaning about barking dogs. He's got one of his own now.
He's been converted now. Do you think that Mariana and the leftovers sounds like an 80s band?
Yeah.
Yes, doesn't it? Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the first
Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness, we're so behind in the comments. Hey Simon, where in Cheshire? I get a room, you Cheshire folk. Villamora, says Juan, asking about that. Beardus, he read your comments and was really touched by his former middle school teacher. You can't say things. You can't say that. Sorry. Living in the Alentejo during summer. I'd prefer the Alentejo in the winter, not during 50 degrees in the summer super hot season. Come back to that.
It's what all the coke trees and the olive trees are for, is to give you shade. Sit underneath, chill bottle of wine, little picnic.
I'm missing so much, says Beardus 22. It's been 14 months. I think there may be sand dunes with cacti and storks nesting on our balcony when we eventually get there.
You know, everyone says the Alentejo people are lazy, but they should go to Alentejo at 5 a.m. That's when they are working.
They're all working.
Well said. Yes, well said, Carlos. I'm loving your Portuguese insight here. You're smashing stereotypes here.
On the Alentejo people are known as the beautiful people, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the most lovely people in the world. Okay, I married one.
So did I.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I walked to the beach in 5 minutes, says Colin at Ericeira there. Setúbal district, close to Lisbon, Troia, Comporta, etc. Setúbal, I think, is going to be an expat mecca in due course. I really do. Carl, you're supposed to be moderating the conversation.
White wine as well.
Sorry about that, Stephen. I just couldn't resist that. I was really enjoying it when it's getting a bit eggy between the two fellas there. Simon Brown.
Can I ask Carlos a question?
Go on, Neil. Yeah.
About Setúbal, because there's a stigma about Setúbal with the Portuguese people, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Because my wife says the same thing. We were going to go in there. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go there. And Anna says the same. It's a place where even the Portuguese don't want to go. And I think it had a bad press some years ago, didn't it?
Why? Near Lisbon.
Was there a lot of trouble there and a lot of bad areas in there?
No. I'm a dancing guy. I usually, before the pandemic, I usually went every week to Setúbal to dance parties and things like that. But no, the problem with Setúbal that some time ago it was like a workers' town. Okay. A workers' town, but you have the most beautiful beaches near Lisbon in the Setúbal district. Okay, we can go to Meco, Alfarim, and things like that. They are like miles and miles and miles away of sand. Okay, beautiful. You have the Arabida Natural Park if you are in hiking and things like that. Okay, and it's just if you want to eat fish near Lisbon, it's Setúbal. You have to go.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we heard
Okay,
that.
if you want to eat seafood, it's Ericeira. You have to go. Okay, unless you want to spend lots of money eating in Lisbon.
Good.
Once
We're
in a while.
getting great value from Carlos tonight, aren't we?
So it's getting better there then. The reputation of Setúbal is improving a lot.
But there's no reason for that reputation, as I said. But the problem is so many years ago, okay, like they were like, sorry if I'm turning some political senses, Setúbal district and Seixal and things like that were known by like communist strongholds. Okay, but there was like 30 years ago or 40 years ago. Okay, no reason for that because now it's people usually who work in Lisbon.
It's south of the river. It's south of the river stuff. It's the same in London, isn't it? South of the river, people are looked down upon, and there's no reason for it. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, no reason at all.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just beautiful. The problem is the bridge. Okay, if you have to come to Lisbon and take the Red Bridge, it's the worst bridge ever.
Oh, there are worse bridges. I love it, and you can get the ferry across. Come on, Carlos, you can drive across on the ferry.
You take the boat. Okay. Oh,
yeah.
You are not. It's real. You are not Portuguese.
Okay, fair enough. It's true. It's true. I can't deny it. Gary, go on, and then Ian.
I found this sentiment about Setúbal evidence in the wines. A lot of people think that the wines are kind of substandard, second-class, mass-produced stuff, and a little bit rustic. I've heard people use these terms about them, but I have been seriously impressed with wines from that region. They're vastly underrated, and in fact, the wine that I'm drinking tonight, if we remember, was one of the ones that we did. Hang on, remember the Sofia wine, the Sofia Loren wine?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's to be honest. It's this one. This was one of the best wines.
The slap round your face at the bar wine.
Ermelinda Freitas is one of the
is
one of the best Portuguese producers of wine.
There you go. Okay. Right. But I've learned something with this wine.
But you have to be Portuguese because the main goal for the Portuguese people is to get great wines under €3.
This one,
because it's easy to have a great wine that costs €100 a bottle, like Barca Velha or something like that. But the main goal is under €3, a great wine.
Exactly, which proves the point because if you can get a good wine for the right money, you're going to buy it, aren't you? But that one, this one, right? I learned my hard lesson with this wine. You've got to serve it at the right temperature. And you've got to let it breathe because the taste changes so much. But this probably is my favourite wine we've had so far. It's still a really damn good wine.
For example, if you are in white wine, okay, Ermelinda Freitas has a wine that mostly sells to the supermarket chain Lidl. Okay, it's Rosario as a white wine.
Yeah,
it costs like €1, 99, 98, something like that. Okay, for that is such a wonderful wine for that price. Okay, and the problem is Alentejo wines got so popular that they are so expensive now.
Yeah. So do I read you what you're saying is that there's still a little bit of an undiscovered treasure in so far as Portugal is concerned?
You know, in the world, world competition of blind tastes, the best white wine in the world was Lisbon wine. Do you know Lisbon wines?
We've had a few, we've had a couple.
Yeah, some, yeah.
No? Yeah, almost anyone knows Lisbon wines, okay?
We're going to have one when it's my turn soon.
Yeah, just talk.
A Lisbon white, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is it? I can't remember.
I think it's a Lisboa 6, I think. Or...
Yeah, but the problem is I bought some bottles before they won the prize, like €1 a bottle or something like that. Okay, and now it's like €12 or €14 or something like that.
Bloody
Yeah.
prices. Bloody prices.
No. Yeah, bloody prices. Okay.
I'm not going to buy it. I want it.
Because if you are Portuguese, and for example, if you want to spend 30 years on a bottle and a white wine, you buy Paramanca. It's easy, okay? You go to a wine shop because they are not in supermarkets, and you buy Paramanca, and you have the most wonderful white wine in the world for me, okay?
Wow.
Okay, but it costs 30 euros a bottle, okay? I can drink it one time a year or something like that.
And Paramanca is only done when they have a great year as well. It's not every year the Paramanca.
Yeah, they don't. If they don't like the grapes, they don't produce it.
They don't produce it. It's only when there's an exceptional harvest.
And the Paramanca white wine is the cheap one because the red wine of Paramanca usually is like 140 euros a bottle or something like that. Okay,
but it's not every year.
Okay, I just drank it once. My boss paid it.
You know what we need to do with the wine club? Maybe we buy a bottle between us, and we meet up and taste it one night.
No, we have to get with your wine guy, Carl. With your wine guy, and he can make he can make the right deals for us.
Very good. Okay, I think he will.
We just discovered a new wine yesterday. We went for lunch, and we just discovered a new wine producer. Well, it's here, but it's new to me, Alentejo. And I'll probably sneak back in on the wine club to introduce this wine. It's heavenly. Yeah, really good. Really good wine.
Ian, did you have something to add? You were just.
I was just going to talk about Setúbal because it just strikes me that it was a working port. And most working ports are pretty down at heel, or have been, and so people discovering it, and it's beginning to move up scale. It's the Islington effect, if you know what I mean, in UK terms.
Yeah.
So I suspect it's probably a good investment.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think expats will go there and think, well, what are people talking about? It's fantastic here.
Yeah, it's getting too expensive now, Ian. Okay, because I look for
compared with where I live in London, everything's cheap.
Okay, yeah, that's not fair. Okay, that's not fair. Okay, but it's getting too expensive because I looked for a house there because it's near Lisbon, 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and it has the most beautiful beaches on that coast. Okay, but it's getting too expensive.
Yeah.
Do you think it's up and coming area? Do you think it's becoming more and more popular now, Setúbal, Carlos?
I think the mainly people that buy houses in that area are Portuguese, and that tells a lot.
Okay. But I think the expats are starting to look towards that now.
Yeah, but the Portuguese just don't really like when the expats enter because the house prices go like
no place to invest.
The house prices go. For example, like near Castelo Branco now. Okay. Yeah. 2 years ago, you could buy a small farm like for 10,000 euros tops. Okay. Now it's all
another zero on.
Yeah, another zero. Yeah, not another zero, but like 30,000 euros or something like that.
Yeah. And the expats will think nothing of that. All right, look, I need to catch up in the comments. All right, there's a real downer coming in from Juan here. What about taxes? Let's not talk about that tonight. We're having a drink. We're raising a glass to freedom, respect, and health. So we'll come back to that. That's a man cave topic. And Joel can have a good old moan about taxes like this. There's taxes for everything in Portugal. That's something to look forward to, Juan, when you get here. Colin says, I lived in Chester before here, Simon, meaning Portugal. Pete, back to Pete. When it is on your lap, you tend not to use it. Lived in a flat on the Thames in Richmond and never used it. But with the Quinta, we have to. So nice. Our 11 builders work from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. today. Fantastic. That's on a Saturday, isn't it? Fabulous. Hope you're enjoying your life down there. I think Simon talking to Colin there. So blessed to live virtually on the banks of the River Tejo. but also within walking distance of several hidden small lakes on the neighbouring abandoned estate. Incredible. It does sound wonderful where you live, Fiona. Already done that. I wonder what he's referring to there. Sorry, it's been a while since I've read any comments out. Sounds a disaster. I wonder what that was about as well. I agree with Neil. I was so important living by the coast as you grew up. I can vividly remember strolling by the beach in Birmingham by the sea. I hate to
Black country, but the most beautiful people from around there. I remember visiting there about probably 30 years for the first time, and I was taken in like I was family from complete strangers. Absolutely love the place, love the people.
Yeah, and you know, the canal is like the canal smells like the sea sometimes, doesn't it? To be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Edmundo, good evening.
Birmingham?
To catch up more people for this fabulous show. Oh, cheers, Edmundo. Edmundo's sending people our way. I think Joel's giving me a bit of a telling off here. Say what, Carl? Repeat it slowly. Next man cave, we will have a man's talk. What did I say? Where did I go wrong there, Joel?
I think you challenged him to a fight.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you and me, Joel, in the car.
But probably the reason is that you are a Sagres guy.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. My fear is, though, I think Joel could probably have me, though. So I'm going to keep it virtual.
Well, if the moon's in the right part of the sky.
Exactly. it only takes a right moon. Yeah, about Porto. Okay. I was only joking, Joel. I'm worried now.
It's all right, Carl. I can teach you to run quick.
Yes, thank you. I'll take you up on that offer, Ian. Sorry, Paula's battery has gone kaput. So it was lovely to have you here. If you're tuned back in, the Roonies, great to have your company this evening. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Juan, mentioned Comporta and Villamora. I'm guessing he's looking at high-end areas. Yeah, but I think we've opened his mind, Alyssa. Alyssa's from Setúbal. And if you didn't know, her PE teacher was Jose Mourinho, which is amazing. John Rooney, anyone trying the new pedestrian bridge? Aruca. When are we going there, folks?
Soon, I hope.
I hope so. That's amazing. Should we take some fizz and drink it halfway?
Yeah, I have a fag.
That sounds dangerous.
Alyssa, Carlos has a typical snobbish attitude of a Cavaco supporter for residing in Lisbon. He thinks being upper class and can't even master. All right. Easy. I think, to be fair to Carlos, he did.
Okay, she's lovely.
Okay, well said. A great one. A great wine.
Moving on.
Under €3 is a very noble quest. I think Carlos was really cool about Setúbal. He was telling it, as it was under.
He was bigging it up, wasn't he?
Yeah. Listen, please. I think some people are snobbish about Setúbal, definitely, but I don't think Carlos is one of them.
When I was a teenager, Setúbal had the best disco around Lisbon. So every young people went there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the disco burned in a fire or something like that.
Oh no!
But no.
Insurance shop, I remember it well.
Okay. She's wrong because for me, for example, Meco is the best beach near Lisbon.
There you go. Wrong man.
I prefer I could be in Carcavelos or Guincho or something like that from my house in Lisbon, like in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, and in the winter I go there to surf and to fish. Okay, but I prefer to get in my car and spend like 1 hour and get to Meco and something like that, and spend a lovely day in the beach with the right amount of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Because no people, it's also sad. Okay. The right amount of people is right.
Yeah. I think we're picking up here, aren't we? That there's definitely a kind of Lisboeta, Setúbalense thing going on. But I don't think you guys are the ones to be keeping that up. I think it's with
you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is an interesting question. We are toasting. We haven't done a toast for a little while. It was turning into a bit of a drinking game as we were raising a glass to people who we've loved and lost and respected over the last year. But what is the best port wine in Portugal, Carlos? I think you should probably lead this.
Okay, I'm not the red guy. I don't love port.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's too sweet.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah,
So
there's so many. Yeah, my wife knows them all because she did visits to all the producers. Okay, because when I was working, okay, in the bank, I usually went to Porto a long time ago, and on the weekends, and she went with me and with the team. Okay, and all the wives just all weekend visiting port cellars and drinking. Okay, they did the tour like in Portuguese first, then in English, then in Germany, but they didn't get it. But they drank the wine. Okay, then in Netherlands or something like that. But I'm not the right guy to talk about Porto wine.
Okay,
because Porto wine is English. It's not Portuguese. Okay,
that's right. Well said. Well said, Ian. Go on.
Yeah,
it's a combination.
Yeah. Isn't the whole idea is you try them all?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Then you can.
There's so many to try.
But was it you, Gary, that had the white?
Yeah, in the next morning, it's a bad experience.
Oh,
it's always a bad experience.
Yes, indeed.
In quantity.
Terence, a great wine for under 3 euros is a very noble quest. I feel another group coming on.
I think he should come on. He should come on screen and explain himself.
He should.
Great wine for under €3 is like the quest for the Holy Grail.
It is, but I'm up for it.
Yeah, it's there. Like we said when we first came.
Does he live in Portugal?
Yeah.
I've got a story to tell here, right? And this was the first time I actually came out to central Portugal, and we stopped up by Figueiro de Vinhos, out in the wild somewhere. And I thought, I've got to go and have mixed with some of the locals in their local cafe bar, as you do. Being stupid, not being able to speak much Portuguese. I walked in and looked on the shelves, and there was bottles, and managed to get sort of the message over that I would like a glass of port. And she got this bottle down and gave me this glass of port, which was really, really nice. I can't remember what it was. And then she said to me, would you like some more? So I had some more. And then I had to go. So I thought, well, I'll pay my bill now. Asked her how much. And I thought she said 12 euros, because it still wasn't very good. So I got the 12 euros out, thinking, well, that's a bit steep. Maybe I'm paying gringo prices. What she didn't, she said 2 euros, Deutsch euros, and she gave me the bottle. The whole bottle was €2, and wasn't it nice stuff? Yeah. So you can get really, really good port for low price.
And then you had to drink it.
Yeah.
I came back to Linda and said, look what I've got.
Gary's quite famous in central Portugal now. In certain restaurants, people say that's the guy from the man cave over there. So I think
Gary.
I think as well, people will be going to Figueira de Vinhos and going into cafes and saying, "Can I have the £2 bottle of port that the Brummie bloke got?" I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be in the Sunday papers.
It may have been some local brew that was made. It might not have been an official label, but it was really, really nice stuff.
It wasn't really a proper bar, was it? It was like the ladies' front room.
It was like going into the ladies' front room with half a dozen guys, and it was brilliant.
Brilliant.
That was just probably the pre-drinks, Gary. You're lucky you left.
Well, she was taking the teeth out, so I thought I better go.
Oh, dear. Okay, in July.
Port's a completely different story. You love wine and you can go down the wine route. You love port, you can go down a completely another. I was a huge port fan for a number of years and started collecting. And you can spend as much time looking at port as you can looking at wine.
Yeah,
it's quite amazing. It really is.
I'm not a great port drinker. I've had a couple of nice bottles, but I've got a bottle that my brother bought me, and it's as old as I am. And I have 2 bottles.
I've got 2 63s left. That's about it.
65, mate, but yeah, I haven't.
65. 66 was a better year than 65, but yeah. No, I was born in 63. Sorry, 63 was a good year, but 66 was better.
You don't drink it. You have time to store wine. I don't have time to store wine. I drink it all.
No, you just have a drink problem, Carlos.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, run out.
No, there's no such thing as a drink problem. I drink, no problem.
Yeah.
Then I fall down.
We've noticed that. Look at this tour here. In July, ferry to Santander. This is from UK, obviously. Driving to Lagos, 2 nights in Salamanca and 2 in Evora. On the way back, 1 night in Tamar, 2 in Aveiro. Looking forward to seeing all these places. That is a beautiful little trip. You'll have a great time. Bearders 22. Sounds
Give
quite
us a
good.
shout, Bearders, whenever you get to Evora. I'll be glad to meet up with you and show you around.
There you go.
I would trade you 2 nights in Salamanca for 2 nights in Tamar, because I was definitely just unimpressed with Salamanca, I'm afraid.
Oh, I say, okay. All right.
I like Salamanca.
Hola, Fred.
Salamanca. It was amazing.
I love Salamanca.
It's absolutely beautiful. Did you go around all of the really old schools and universities and everything there? It's beautiful.
No,
The problem now it's everything is closed.
Well, there you go.
It's a stunning city. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a stunning city, but usually all villages in Spain or cities in Spain, you have to get there on Friday or Saturday night on Plaza Mayor, because every city in Spain has a Plaza Mayor. Okay.
And the big square there is famous.
Yeah, just feel the wine and the tapas.
I have to tell you a story about this. So this is probably, in fact, we were coming to Portugal nearly 30 years ago. My son wasn't born. And we stopped on our way down. We stopped at Salamanca, and it was myself and what was my first wife and my sister and brother-in-law. And we stopped at Salamanca, and we had a long drive, and we were really, really tired. We got there, so we went out for a couple of drinks, and we never booked anywhere, but we actually managed to find a hotel on the square, on that famous plaza on the square there. And we got there sort of late afternoon, and looked like they were setting a bandstand up. So we went into the hotel, and it was right on the square, and they had 2 rooms left. That was it. So we managed to get the last 2 rooms, and they said one's inside, one's outside, overlooking the square. So we said, right, we'll toss for it. So we tossed for it, and we won the room overlooking the square. I was like, result. So we went up, and as you do, you look at each other's rooms, and Linda and John's room was overlooking the back of the hotel, looking down at the Euro bins there, and the vents from the kitchen from the hotel next door, etc. And we opened up, and we just had the whole square in front of us. Absolutely amazing. So we all got changed, we went out for dinner, got back, and we had a drive the next day. So we were back at home, I don't know, back in the hotel around sort of 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock or something. We went to bed, and by then the music had started in the square. And so they had the big bandstands, the band was playing, the music was going, everyone was dancing. That's great. We thought, yeah, they're going to end soon, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3.
6 a.m.
And there I got the mattresses off the bed, and they had the big wooden shutters. I actually closed the shutters, opened the windows. I put the mattresses in the windows, and then closed the shutters on the mattresses. Just
now, Neil, you have to be Iberian style. It's like
unbelievable.
The parties between midnight and 6 a.m. and then there's an after party until 10 a.m.
Exactly. Oh, it was unbelievable. 6 o'clock, it was still going. It was just up. Well, we'd set our alarms for 6 because we then were leaving there and driving down to the Algarve. So we got up. I hadn't slept a wink. Got up. My sister come knocking on the door. Oh, we had a great sleep. How was it? No, I was like, and we got up, and we found this matador. There was obviously a bull ring going on, and this matador, full regalia, coming 6 o'clock. And he was walking home like this, staggering across the streets, I remember. And I went out and I blasted the horn on that. All the way out there, the little streets, I had the horn going on the car to try and wake everybody up. Hadn't slept a wink all night. Oh, amazing. Really funny, but great place, beautiful.
Perkins Revenge.
But you know, in Portugal and Spain, if you study enough, you can make like a road travel, getting it to every village when they have their own party or all fiesta or something like that, and it will be like 1 month in the summer, 1 month of party.
Definitely. And that's the beautiful thing about Portugal. Every weekend there's a festa in the village somewhere.
Not only Portugal, Spain it's the same. Okay,
the same in Italy.
Probably. Okay. You know. I went to Italy when I was 17 years old. I make a trip, like 3 weeks trip, going from Milan to Naples. Okay. And then I went to Sardinia with my wife. Okay. But I love Italy also.
Yeah. Southern Europe.
Carlos,
they all know how to live.
That's so true, isn't it? It's the reason why the Northern Europeans get uptight about Southern Europe, isn't it? Because they enjoy life much more.
But Carl, I loved London also. I worked in London for 1 year. I loved it. Okay.
It's a little bit of Southern Europe, London. It's a little.
No, but everything. For example, I work in Limerick in Ireland. I also love it.
Wow,
okay?
Ireland.
Okay,
Yeah.
the pubs
let's
are
get some
so
Ireland.
yeah. You just get out of work, go to the pub, spend like 3 hours singing, talking, and then you go to your room and sleep. Then you get up and go to work.
Okay. You were a young man then, Carlos.
I loved it. I loved it.
Italian. I have Italian and Irish.
Yeah.
So
Do you
you know,
remember
I've got as
this
much
one too?
Irish blood probably as I have.
The Irish know how to party.
Yes, indeed. I mean, imagine that, being a Portuguese immigrant in Ireland. I mean, that's just the best of all worlds, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Incredible. All right, let's catch up here. Sorry, Penny, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I've just been trying to sort out, because to get an Italian dual citizenship is actually quite complicated, given some fairly difficult rules around mothers and 1940 whatever rules. But I've just worked out for Henry. Henry can get his Irish passport quite easily now. I've worked out we got enough Irish on our side, short enough for him to get an Irish passport, so he can still be a European.
Hey.
Huzzah!
Do you have to do a test? Go drinking with the ambassador and to see if you're up to the standard. Charles, all our friends from Beer to Wine, what's next? I guess it's port after this, or spirits.
How's that?
Yeah, where does Portugal rank in alcohol consumption? Highly, I think.
No comment.
Stephen,
only among the expats.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I mean, we're raising the average, aren't we? Point me at some farms for 35k. So Stephen,
no, Carl, you are not raising the average.
No, that's true. We're lightweights, aren't we? You're right. But Stephen Wells is well up for pushing the prices up. By the sound of it, in Castelo Branco district, can't get anything decent in the supermarket. That just sounds like a general complaint, doesn't it? From like.
If it's wine, try Lidl's.
Yeah. Well, I quite like that. Shop local. Screw the supermarkets. Juan, what about prices of LAR?
Get a wine guy.
Get a wine guy. That's the thing. That's the honourable thing to do, and then refer to him as my man after that.
Okay, sorry, Carl.
Listen, it's not over it yet. Am I hearing correctly? Carlos has a typical arrogant of a shaker right-wing extremist. Is he saying Setúbal is going to work? This has gone off in the wrong direction. I'm sorry.
No wonder she's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I think she doesn't like me.
I think you're right. I'm wondering what you're doing.
This is what I love about Setúbalense women. They're just fire.
I love her.
On fire.
No problem.
Dangerous,
I love her.
On fire.
I think we got off to a bad start. Depends on the region you pick, but depending on the size of the land, its location, prices may vary. But even in the big cities like Porto and Lisbon, land can be bought for under 100,000. Ginny, thanks, Joel, for that. Ginny and I say hi to everyone tonight and raising a glass to you all. Back to the toast. We haven't done one of those speeches. Hello there. I'm toasting Joel today. We are back to the toast now. Yes.
We'll toast Joel.
We wouldn't have met Joel if it hadn't been for the pandemic and the man cave. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I met most of you, actually, to be fair. And I'm sure it's mutual. But here we are on a screen. And this is one of the absolute silver linings, upsides of the pandemic. And Joel is definitely included in that. Our lovely Portuguese, our best friend up in Matosinhos. To you, Joel, I know we take the piss out of you massively, but you take it. Yeah, and you take a joke so well, and you give it out, and we love you. We absolutely love you, Joel. So here's to you, mate.
Oh.
Eeyore. I hope he has escaped the dungeon. He lives there. He can't really escape it. Thoughts are with you at this difficult time, Joel.
Come and join us, Joel.
Yeah, come on, Joel. You're welcome on the screen. It is how welcoming, kind. Yes, exactly. Come and drink some wine with us, Joel. Kind and generous in time, knowledge people are that counts. You can be surrounded by people and alone, and have sparse population be filled with friends. Well said, Pete. That's absolutely true.
He should come on up as well. We've got to talk to Peter. We must
Pete,
have him on screen.
Yeah, Pete, we want you on the screen. The link is going in for anybody who wants to join us tonight, as we're having a little bit.
Come on up, people. We've got space.
We're moving into the last stage of deconfinement. These are good times, folks. Back to the Portugal we know and love, and that we want to celebrate again. Any port in a storm. That's quite a good. It's quite a good approach to life, isn't it? Basically,
Yeah.
Would this be a good time for advice? Yeah, that's right. Ask like how many people? 8 people after they've been drinking for over an hour for advice.
Read this stuff.
Yes, I'll read it out for you, Penny. Don't worry. Hoping to spend 2 months in Portugal. That's Doc's Tourette's. He just shouts out Luria.
Fucking Luria.
12 minutes has gone by. He's got another Luria now.
I mean, to be fair, he hasn't said it for 10 minutes. So well done, Doc. Hoping to spend 2 months in Portugal this summer. Holes if possible. Otherwise, next summer, spending a week in 8 different places. Where would everyone recommend? Doc?
No, I'm serious. I am serious. It would be a great place to spend a week. You can go to the Tyre from Luria. You got a beach and the glass.
Quite cold though, isn't it?
And you can go to so I said for Tyre, Tomar and what's the Fatima, Tomar, Batalha, Marina Grande, Luria. There's 5 days there for you.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. San Martin de Porto.
I mean, to be fair, we did go to look at a beautiful house there. Very, very nice house. But there was 2 things that really just put us off. The house itself was beautiful, but one, there was a really cold wind blowing there, and we weren't right on the beach. We were a couple of k's away from the coastline. And second, we found out the Doc lived there. So it just
bonus.
But Leona's here, so that's a plus.
Yes, so I hope that helps, Rodinja. I don't know if it did or not, but it might have done.
You do get fog in the summer, don't you? There.
We didn't, but maybe there will be at some point.
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
Since August.
Hey, here he is. Can we have the red light? Can we have the red light, Joe?
Hi, Joe.
Is that a good view or not? We can't get in that way, can we? He's combing his hair, but hair and makeup.
Yeah, I'm looking a little bit like Einstein. The hair is starting to revolt on itself.
That's exactly how we think of you. This would be a fact-finding mission to decide where we might move in 3 years. Don't sweat it too much. Just come over.
Yeah, just don't believe what Carl says about Porto.
Oh, he's not over it, is he? He's clearly not over it.
No, I'm not over it.
Okay.
I reckon you can take him, Joel. I reckon you can have him.
Well, I'm probably
it's not helping
over him, so I have an advantage on weight.
Yes, I can.
Joe, what's your opinion on Setúbal?
Oh, here we go.
As a place for it, or a place itself?
No, I don't have a particular opinion about Setúbal. If you ask me about Lisbon, I would say I do not like that. But since
it's pretty close to Lisbon,
formulating the opinion.
Thank you, Neil, for that. Shame only one night in Tomasis, Fiona. Such a stunning area with a fantastic vibe. Guess you will just need to come back for a month next time. Yes, well said. Good night, DJ. I'll follow up the rest of the evening on catch up. I think we'll all have to do that, basically. Carlos, we arrive in Salamanca on a Friday night. Yes, perfect. There you go. So you've got a bit of insight from Neil there. Good night from Antonio F is here. We need him on screen, don't we? We love Antonio F. Yes. Antonio F says, Jordinja, have you already decided on what kind of place or location you intend to live? Countryside, big town, near the sea, etc. Yeah.
That's it,
My wife would like to be close to a beach, but I think it's worth spending at least a couple of weeks further inland to see if she enjoys that. For me, though, anywhere. Well said, Jordinja.
Then you should pick. No, we are not related.
That's typical American.
To be perfectly clear, I am one of 75 people in the world with my last name.
Look,
Miljardziesz.
this is
correct?
No disrespect.
Miljardziesz.
Yeah, no disrespect to you, Steve and Tammy, but this is Charles being American about this, isn't it? It's like two people from Portugal. Hey, you related to each other, guys? I think that's what's happening there, isn't it?
Certainly not. He doesn't like Lisbon. He doesn't like Lisbon, and I love Porto.
It's going to be two fights, I think.
Porto's lovely as well.
Probably within an hour. Look,
You're always within an hour of a big town in Portugal.
Exactly. Yes. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Andrea. First comment from somebody. Andrea Vieira. For a great port tasting day, has to be spent in Gaia by the river. Port cellar after port cellar, hangover after hangover. Each offering port tasting for great prices. I can't remember how much I paid. Can't remember. You see, but I remember
my wife knows it well.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience, that, isn't it?
She did it all.
Yep. Are we going to get to meet Mrs. Carlos tonight?
The port wine cellars are a good tourist trap.
Yep.
They're really interesting.
It is a good thing. When I went to Amsterdam, I did all the things.
The prostitutes.
When I go to Amsterdam.
Red lights.
It is a tourist trap.
Wacky.
Because you try to see the
It's those red lights. They draw you in like moths to a flame, don't they?
Stuck to the window, like this.
Is that Neil? Neil, did you want to tell us about your weekend in Porto?
Sorry?
Did you want to tell us about your weekend in Porto?
Oh, we've had several, but we had some really good weekends.
Lost half of his spending money on the first night.
Yes. Yes, Diffy Dog says, obviously watching the wine club. Here we go. Let's zoom in. Let's see how this goes.
There you go.
Here you go. She did it, Diffy Dog. Sorry to disappoint. What are the property taxes like in Portugal? Joel,
You have one property tax called EME.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. That was brief, mercifully brief. Good night, all battery dying, says Fiona.
And also, it depends on the region, the amount of sun exposition.
Oh, Joel, don't tell them that. Okay, that's so easy.
It depends also on the location of the town.
Yeah.
And how
if you have sunlight, you pay 1% more. If you have a garage, you pay 1% more. If you have a garden, you pay more 3%. If you have something, you have pay more.
So basically,
pay. Okay.
Yep.
Basically, if you are rich, you should pay more.
Yeah. Basically, there was.
Doc would agree with you.
Yeah, Doc would agree with that.
You were discussing about
progressive taxation.
Prices. So to make one thing very clear for those that don't know, we pay about and around 53% of taxes just on gas. For example, if you put 10 euros of gas in your car, you are paying at least 6 euros for your gas
taxes
in the car.
Yeah,
I actually thought it was higher than that over here.
It is in the UK.
I think.
Yeah, I thought it was higher than that here.
If you watch Joel, if you watch Joel in a man cave, you'll go away thinking that tax is 150%.
Unless you've got a good accountant.
That's not fair, Carl, because I pay 45% of IRS or my work taxes. Okay, the money I make. Then I pay 23% on everything I buy.
Yeah.
Then I pay like the IME, like Joel said, for the properties I own. Okay, and then if they don't have enough money, they will invent a tax so I can pay more.
So you actually keep net 2% of what you earn.
Yes, exactly.
No. Usually I work until the end of July to pay taxes. Then in August I start working for me.
Very
crazy,
good.
isn't it?
But don't you think, Carlos, when you're driving around in Portugal and you drive through a roundabout, you say, "I paid for that"? And I paid for that.
No, because I drive on the roads that pay tolls.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yes.
I don't know what you are talking about because I pay like 25 euros to go from Lisbon to Algarve, or 32 euros to go from Lisbon to Porto.
That's just the tolls. That doesn't include the fuel.
Yeah, that's just the tool. Okay,
Yeah,
because I'm paying to a private company. I'm paying to a private company because it was a public company. Okay, but when it was public, it didn't make money. So now it's private and makes like 400% of profit or something like that. Okay,
I knew it.
I'm not complaining. I just want a little bit for me. Okay.
Okay. I knew.
So I can spend on wine.
Yeah, fair enough. And then there's a tax on that as well. Go on, Penny.
Can I just say, as a woman, I'd probably be working until 6 months after that to make the same as you.
Oh.
I'm sure that's not. I'm sure that's not true, because that's one thing good. That's one thing good in Portugal.
Every woman
okay?
has to work many months more if they're in that.
Okay, in Portugal it's many weeks. In Portugal it's many weeks. For example, my wife makes more money than me. Thank God, so I can retire.
But generally, women have to work a lot longer to make the same. Stop.
Yeah, sorry, you're 100% right, Penny. That's entirely true across the whole of the world, as far as I know. I don't know any country that has an even balance of women to men in terms of employment or opportunity. What I wanted to say was countering this thing about the tolls. So what you've just done is illustrate the stupidity of handing public services over to private companies. Toll roads aren't supposed to make money. It shouldn't have made money for the government. It was part of the national infrastructure. But you can't really complain about, when you end up with only wealthy people using toll roads, because how much do you value your time at? If you drove down to the Algarve on the ordinary roads, it would cost you a lot more in terms of time than the 25 euros, unless you're time
Doc, you are right, but that's one problem. When you go from Lisbon to Algarve, if you turn left, okay, if you turn left, all that road was paid with public money, so it shouldn't have tools. Okay, if you turn right, yeah, you can have tools, but the problem is they put tools in the Algarve, the Via do Infante. Okay, it's the main the perfect subject. Okay, because every time you make like 5 kilometers, there's a portal, and your Via Verde.
I know, I've done it.
Makes like ting money. Okay, more 10 kilometers, ting. More money.
The underlying argument is that public infrastructure should not be privately owned. It should not be making profit.
But it's not privately
No,
owned.
the problem is in Portugal
is like the company that the company has a contract with the state.
I know.
And what happens is the state that builds the road, but then it subrents it to a company. That company.
I know.
Sorry, Joel. To a French company.
Yeah, no, subrent to a company, but I'm not saying it isn't a friend of the prime minister running that company.
I think you both got it wrong. The country you're living in did not pay for that toll road. the EU lent you the money to pay that toll road, and now you're having to pay it back.
No. We paid
Not
for
completely
that
true.
road.
No, you had massive EU
No,
subsidies for that road.
that is where you are wrong.
One example. The famous bridge, the red bridge in Lisbon. Okay, it's already paid like 100 times over. Okay, the bridge is already paid like 100 times over. When they did another bridge, the Vasco da Gama bridge.
Carlos, got to go back to Joel, because I want to know then where this money came from to pay for all these roads in Portugal that hasn't got a lot of money.
Mostly came from the Portuguese taxpayers.
Taxes, yeah.
Portuguese taxpayers give money to the state. The
people who run the company that runs the toll, they pay, you know?
Yeah, but I don't mind paying taxes for health. Okay, I don't want to pay taxes for roads. Okay, sorry.
I think now hold on. What's more important, health or roads?
Health.
Well then, in that case,
I think the last 2 years. I think the last year proved that.
So why are you paying for health? That should be socially provided.
Look, George Soros pays for every bridge. This has degenerated into quite an interesting sort of pub.
Okay, let's talk about wine.
Yeah, let's leave that.
No, because I mean, if we wait a little bit longer.
Who's actually drinking what tonight?
Okay, yeah.
There you go, Neil.
Let's not talk about politics, because the Great Reset will just take care of all of that in a little while.
Yeah.
And look, fight. So, let me catch up. Let me just catch up on the.
Carl, you get our ratings high if we fight.
I think you're right.
So let's pretend we fight.
Yes, but what I need to say also for anybody who's watching tonight who's not used to hearing Portuguese people talking to each other, there isn't. There isn't necessarily a problem. It's just what they do. It's just like you think there's a terrible confrontation going on, but it's just Joel and Carlos having a chat. It's all good.
We are just talking. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
When you're married to a Portuguese family, then you understand. You think like all hell is breaking loose in the kitchen, and you go in expecting to see blood and knives, and it's just a conversation between the family, basically.
Yeah, do you want sugar?
And the main issue is who pays the bill? Who pays the beer?
It's football. It's football.
Probably. Portuguese people don't talk about football. Football is like it's not a dialogue. It's like statements. Okay. I love Porto. I love Benfica. I love Sporting. Yeah. Okay. Who pays the beers?
Right, we haven't done this for a little while, and we maybe have lost sight here. And I must check in with our American friends. Is everything okay in Chicago?
Good.
Sure.
Good. we have
Thank goodness.
Okay, all right.
Have you changed your mind about?
What are you asking about?
Have you changed your mind about moving here now?
Oh no!
Can we ask what Chicago drinks? What's drinking in Chicago?
Well, obviously, when people think about Chicago, they think about gun violence. That's like the number one topic that we hear about on a regular basis. So that's as the city and the area starts opening up, related, post COVID. There's the gun violence has kind of gone up, and which is an unfortunate part of.
Oh, are we frozen up there?
Lost them.
Yeah, they're frozen up. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was gun violence in Chicago.
Oh yeah,
South Chicago, south of the river.
Mm-hmm.
South of the river. Okay. Yeah.
You always have those iconic movies from the 30s and 40s about gangsters and everything else.
Okay. That was the last century. So, please.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful new world.
They moved forward from Tommy guns to just handguns, and
Yeah, the weapons are much more sophisticated now.
Yeah.
But
Sadly.
we can't talk about the United States about the guns because
No.
it's
No,
different people.
don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Disney either.
For example, do you know almost in Portugal, everyone says that Portugal doesn't have guns, okay? But almost everyone is a hunter, so they have a weapon. They have a gun in the house.
They're just responsible with it.
And that's actually
Most
true.
most of them are shotguns. Most of them are shotguns. They're not pump action. They're shotguns for hunting. It's not
Don't
like
worry.
assault weapons or handguns or things.
So it's better to get shot by a single bullet than a cartridge from a shotgun.
An assault rifle can shoot 200 rounds a minute.
Yeah,
Shotgun
no,
can
but
shoot 2 rounds. You know, it's
Yeah.
that's the difference. You can kill
but
people
the
maybe with a
problem
shotgun.
in Portugal usually the wife shoots the husband gets the hunting gun and kills the lover, and then he goes to the police and hands himself over.
That's how it should be. Absolutely.
The lover dies in the fridge, and the husband through the fridge.
Can I ask a question, please? Can I ask a question? While we've got two Portuguese guys on the screen, you've got to answer this question for the people that are listening. Right? When Portuguese people, who are lovely, very lovely people, get behind the wheel of a car, they change into the son of the devil. So why is that? Why do they just?
Oh, Gary, you're up in me.
They do that.
No comment. No comment.
Nobody's answered
No
this yet.
comment.
Nobody's answered this question.
All right.
No comment. But I can tell you this until we don't.
How can a person change so much?
No comment. No comment on the driving. No comment on the driving.
Right, hold on. Right,
Time.
everybody's had a few glasses of wine now. I need to remind you of the Zoom convention here to mute yourself unless you're speaking, because we're getting. I mean, this must be driving some people insane. The echo. So mute yourself unless you're speaking. Okay, if you will, please.
Oh, someone's got a listening tab on, definitely.
Yeah, I think someone's watching as well as taking part, and there are other people who want to join as well. So we might get new people on tonight.
Kick me off if you need to, Carl.
No, you can kick. Yeah, Carl. If you need to kick me. Okay, no problem.
No. It's first come, first served for sure. We're not doing tag team.
But everyone has to.
But we have
to be.
Plenty of room, Carl.
We need to observe the comments. That's the important thing, because people do chip in with the comments. So let's go to those. And there are some very good ones, obviously. Good night all. This is going back a while now, but good night all. Battery dying. We'll watch the replay if there is one. Nice to see Joel joining everyone. You've got a lot of fans, Joel. Raise your glasses more often for our freedom. So here's to freedom. Next stage of deconfinement on Monday, May the 3rd. Here's to freedom, folks, after a year of some serious, restrictions. More than a year. Freedom. And in Portuguese, what's freedom in Portuguese, Joel?
Escravatura.
No, he's lying, okay?
Liberdade, of course. I love Port, says Zato, who just popped in to say that. Pete Bleach. Charles reminds me of Harry Enfield sketch. Ain't she pretty? What a guy. Charles, are you Beatley boing Idaho? I don't know. I just quite understand that, but I'm laughing anyway, Pete. If your house is worth over 500k value, don't you pay an additional property tax?
I hope so.
Well said, Doc.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Now, if you have more than 1 million euros in property, you start paying what we call an IME. Okay, it's a new tax. Okay, but only over the amount above 1 million euros. Okay.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, millionaires deserve love too. I have an EV. So
I would love to pay that tax. Okay.
Yep. No, fair enough. And the aspirational tax. I have an electric vehicle, so no petrol tax, thankfully. Yeah, nice one, Diffie Dog.
Pay 2 taxes on the electrical bill.
Sorry, to bring you down to earth there with a Joel intervention, but he's right. We've had our place in Lagos for 5 years. It was never an investment, but it's gone up 40% in value, says Bidders22, including currency movement. I can appreciate the concern expressed regarding expats driving up the prices. And you've been involved in that, whether you wanted it or not, Bidders22.
Yeah, but don't get us wrong. We don't have a problem with expats coming.
It is very sketchy. Even for the Portuguese.
Okay, we would love to see our property go up like 1,000%. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, Carlos, and I think we should raise a glass to that in how hospitable Portuguese people are when they might not be. They don't have every, you know, there's reasons where they could be bitter and resentful, and I've never found that. I've never found that in Portugal. So here's to the Portuguese people. God bless you, and thank you for making us so welcome here in Portugal, including all my.
To respond to.
I think that's from.
There are 2 variants of taxes in Portugal.
Sorry, Penny, go on.
I think I was a property owner with that sentiment. So I'm not sure the ordinary rental people in Portugal would necessarily have the same sentiment.
What, as in being welcoming to expats?
No, as in the property prices going up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
I think we have to identify the market. You have to identify what the local market is and what locals are looking to buy, and then look at what the expats are looking to buy. Do they cross over, and is one affecting the price of the other? Because I think it's 2 different markets, personally.
I think you're right.
Neil, surely the whole of the property market is linked. You know, people aspire to move upwards, and if prices go up at one level, then they either drags or pushes the neighbouring levels up. It's
not necessarily, Andy, because a certain market, for instance, bedsits, 1-bedroom flats, 2-bedroom flats. There's a certain target market that are going to be looking to purchase 1-bedroom flats, and then there's going to be a certain market that's going to be looking to buy villas with pools.
I will give you a small example. Even if you want to rent just the room, there are houses that do that. There are rentals that happens to have that. If you want to rent just the room, you pay almost as much as paying for an entire flat for your own.
I disagree. I rented a room in Coimbra for 150 euros a month, all included. 150 euros a month.
I'm going to say this. You go and do a small search, for example, for a T1 or a T2 apartment, and see for rentals and see what prices they ask in Coimbra.
350 euros.
Half of what you pay for you're paying for one room, half of the apartment. That's same.
No, but I had all my bills. It included the 150 included internet, electricity, water, gas,
and use of kitchen and bathroom.
Yes.
And, what is it called? Using the cleaners in the house.
It's about 2 days around here, Andy.
Carl, if you want to give my slot to Simon.
No, it's okay. It's really fine. It's fine. I can organise. I need to go and do something.
I've got to go, Carl. I have to go.
Oh, okay.
So I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Ciao, ciao.
Ian, thank you for joining us. I mean, we're nearly 2 hours in. What a legend, Ian. Seriously, Doc?
Yeah, seriously.
All right, mate. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you've had a great Workers' Day.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, mate. Ciao. See you. Quick fist before he goes. And there's room for some. Oh, I think who else went there? Right.
Sorry.
Okay. Go on, Neil.
Carlos, not Carl. Carlos.
Okay,
Carlos,
yes,
can can you, if you don't mind, or if you want to, is either give Carl your email address or some sort of contact address. I would just like to contact you after, if possible.
Okay, no problem.
It's only if you're down to Beja. If you come down to Beja with your wife, it would be great to catch up for a beer and a bite to eat. That's all, because we're so close.
It will be lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
I will put my email to Carlo or something like that. Okay.
Please.
But I can tell you here, I don't have a problem. I'm an IT guy. I'm very protective. Okay. But it's you will not understand my email. Okay. It's Carlos.
Hold on, I need to get pen. Hold on, I'm not gonna remember this. Hold on, let me get pen.
I can write it in YouTube. No, in YouTube, no.
Yeah, on the chat here.
On the comments. Okay, we're getting back to wine. It's a good point, Simon.
Write a comment. Do a comment, Carl.
There is space. There is space now for anybody who wants to join us. I'm going to rattle through these comments while Carlos is sharing his email address with the whole world. So get the NHR for 10 years and then find a new tax haven. Yes, go to Panama or the Philippines after here. Lisbon, Porto by highway costs about €50, including 22 in tolls. Amazing, isn't it? Jordinsha, cheers all. Thanks for the tipsy advice in Vinho Veritas. Absolutely. Thank you, lovely people. Obrigado to Antonio F. David Durham, always controversial, sometimes controversial, mainly controversial. Tolls can make money. How else can they build new roads? Don't have to answer. Oh, Doc's gone anyway. Bon dia alegria, all you handsome Brits and other beautiful people, says Ubi, who's been making some cracking comments earlier on tonight.
How do you pronounce that name, Carl?
I don't. I just say the Ubi bit. Fight. Going back a little bit. I've calmed down a bit now, Stephen. I think you'll agree. What does Linda think of all this nonsense? Linda, how many glasses?
17.
It's empty. It's gone.
Yeah, but how many bottles is that, Gaz?
No, that was just the one bottle. Just
Yeah.
the one bottle.
Yeah. Mine is empty, and my wife doesn't allow me to open another one.
Wow. Okay, there's your Portuguese politics right there. My point.
And has a proper Portuguese housewife. She has a whip and a slipper on one hand and a whip on the other.
We like
that. So Joel, you got pleasure and punishment in one go.
Yeah.
But I forgot to say that the
Don't be jealous.
The slipper is all woolen, so it will hurt more than the whip.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's speaking from experience there.
Yes, I think it's.
Carl, surely all Portuguese men are speaking for experience.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to go to my.
That's why I say it, because usually Portuguese women, they don't care much about we have to have equality because they don't want equality because they run the household. Why the hell do they want us to be as men to be equal to them?
Exactly.
They don't want that.
Equality would be a demotion. I get it.
Spondulies.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go to the Chinese shop.
They wear the pants at home. There's the wife.
The pants, the whip, everything.
Yes.
We men love it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go to my Chinese shop tomorrow and get some slippers and a whip to give to Mrs. M and see if she can get into it. Pete and Diane on the screen for your viewing pleasure this evening.
Welcome.
Look at your lovely. What's going on there? You've got a beautiful picture behind you.
Oh, well, yeah, it's all right, that old thing. God, blimey. We've got lots of boxes in front of us, blimey. so it's just a building site and box place at the moment, isn't it? But there we are.
Yeah.
So, and
everywhere.
We're surviving on solar at the minute. So there we go, trying to be green, I suppose. That's it.
Very good.
Yeah, lovely to see all of you anyway. So, God, what a rigmarole getting on StreamYard. Well, nightmare.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. I'll speak to my people about that. David, my point is that profit will turn into capital that is used for investment in future projects. I mean, somebody said, what about the wine party? Isn't it amazing how we slip into politics so easily after a few glasses of wine? Greetings from Harrogate. What a team. I think I'm thinking twice about Portugal after 98% tax. I really do hope we haven't put anybody off tonight.
That's only because Carlos earns so much money, though. For us mere mortals, it's completely different.
Yes, indeed. Well said, Neil. Wasn't this supposed to be a happy, fun, light-hearted get-together? Bringing that it all goes to hell.
Welcome to Hell's Paradise.
I told them they're actually the paid entertainment.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What are you? Both of them are going to get a €3 bottle of wine for taking part tonight. So thank you, Portuguese men. What are you?
a euro an hour. That's a going rate, isn't it?
What are you most? Yeah.
We're in StreamYard.
What nightmare. What are you most grateful that is now opening? Good question, Charles.
I'm worrying about that one already.
Yes, me too. I was just thinking that. Is he setting this up there?
They are only opening until 9 p.m. So no movies for me is still one thing. I enjoy going to the movies and watch movies, preferably at night on the weekends. But still not available for me. So I still have to recur to old Long John Silver to watch some movies at home.
Charles won't be surprised because his question actually was, Joel, what are you most grateful that is now opening? And you managed to turn that into about what is not opening.
Yeah, because
the cinemas never have all just opened now for certain.
If you ever you could go to the cinema with Neil.
Cinemas have opened now. Yeah, they're showing all cinemas, all the films.
Charles, to answer your question, I was really delighted to go to my local park in Korea and have a toast de mista in the open air. Things are changing. Has everyone been out already in Portugal?
Yeah, it was mental. How crazy was it? Like we went to Evra the last couple of days in town, and we've actually got a new Leroy Merlin open. It was Aki, and it's because Aki's owned by Leroy Merlin, but it's now been rebranded Leroy Merlin, completely redone. We went there. Every single space in the car park was full. We've been there like 100 times, and there's probably no more than 10 cars in there. The thing was absolutely jam-packed, solid. Town, there was people everywhere, people eating out, eating in. It was really, really surreal. It was lovely, don't get me wrong, but it was just really, really weird. It was unbelievable. It was great, though.
Yeah.
There's so many people about.
Actually, just a couple of hours ago before the streaming started, I went to meet a guy that I have sold some car parts I have lying around here in the house, and usual
you do.
Yeah, because I don't have any use for those car parts, so I have to sell car parts, so I don't have space at home.
Fair play.
So I went to the arranged place that I had with that man, and funny enough, it was like being on the usual weekend around here in Matosinhos, where
lots of stolen parts were being sold.
It's like to take a drive around the beach. So it was congestionated roads, which is a fun thing to do. Yeah.
Back in business. Neil, I've got Carlos's address for you. That's been sent to me now, so it's all good.
Ping it to me if you would.
You two can get an Evra room together at some point in the future. I mean,
Evra, Beja, in between. Happy.
No problem. There's lots of restaurants that we can explore together.
Definitely. Look forward to it.
Send the selfie.
Romance coming here.
Romance is in the air. Battery
well,
going.
We're both married to Ala Tijanas, you see.
Yes, of course. It's a support group, really, isn't it? Battery 2 loved every minute of this. Thank you, says Paula. Paula has been in and out with John there. I'm in Chicago too, says David Durham. Stop it, Gary. Carl, I'm doing great, thanks. Jonesy's here.
You've got to get off.
Stop it, Jonesy. We're supposed to try and have a light-hearted evening here. It's really working.
I think he was being light-hearted. I think the numbers have come down.
They have. Only a little bit, though, to be fair. Carl, I have a cam if you want me to join. Yes, David Durham. The link is in the comments. Go for it. Charles is being his usual mischievous self. Topic, Disney World. Joel, Carlos, go.
Charles, fuck
Go
off.
for it.
Stop it,
Oh,
Charles.
no.
What's
Seriously. What is that?
Disney World?
I need to put. I forgot Joel is here, so I need to put the disclaimer up at the bottom there. It is after the Portuguese watershed, but actually, that's an interesting thing about Portuguese culture. If you go into a cafe in Portugal at like 10 in the morning, you'll see people having sex and swearing on the telly in the cafe, won't you?
Wait a minute, they'll be having sex in the cafe.
I thought he meant that as well.
In the cafe or on the TV?
On the TV, on the TV, everybody. Calm down.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Can I have a Maya Delight, please, when you're finished?
Seems like that. I'm moving tomorrow. We're going. Get a flight, honey.
It's not
the usual program for TV and sick. So yeah.
Yeah, right. It's not Hamburg. I didn't mean like that. I mean on the TV. Okay, it's a good question, Simon Bradshaw. What has happened to the wine party? That was said some time ago. I hope you're still with us.
Still here.
Pop the corn.
Joel, get your free medical advice. Get your thyroid.
Oh, my Lord.
Gary, it's the only legal weapon most people can buy. What's that? And on the good side, a Mayor Delate, maybe. It's also useful to travel. I wonder what the question.
I don't know. What was that then? Legal weapon.
Definitely freedom. Well said, Carl. Yes, here's to freedom again. Liberdad. Here we go. I'd like to toast science, rational thought, and racial justice. So, yes, there we go. It's the glasses going up.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, and let's add.
Yeah, only if it's all science and not just hand-picked science.
Is that science with a small s? Science with a
all
small s.
science, not hand-picked science.
Depends whose science you believe. Depends whose science you believe.
True
All
science.
science.
True science.
All science.
All science.
All science.
Let's toast all saints as well. I love that track.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, they were nice.
Rational thought and racial. Well done, Ubi. This is turning into a wine party now, isn't it? For sure. Ubi, Diffie Dog, all tax systems are sketchy. Yes, absolutely. It is extortion. Let's face it. Try not paying it. See what happens. Let's raise a glass for that. But some are more.
It's easy. You open a football club in Portugal.
Yeah.
Or a church,
or a foundation.
or a party.
Foundation.
You don't pay taxes for those.
A very good insight.
Or a foundation. You can open a foundation and you don't pay taxes also.
Okay, so if anybody is looking for tax advice, I'll also give you Carlos' email address, and you can figure out.
The foundation is completely different to a company. Yeah.
I only charge like 25%.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it.
And what if the company runs at a loss? You pay 25% of the loss?
Of course not. I'm Portuguese.
No, the government gives you 25% of the loss, or the EU does. Saudações do Brasil from Nome Sobrenome. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Paula Rooney, my third battery. Oh, battery number 2 went completely. Thank you so much for a great evening. No, thank you. Igualmente to you, Paula. Very great to have you here. I'm calling you Portuguese Paula already. Paula in the English pronunciation. Paula! But here in Portugal, Paula, whip and slipper from the guy in the dungeon. Yes, actually, Joel. Yes. Okay, yeah, that's a well spotted there, Stephen. That kind of slipped past us, didn't it? I will always drink to Chicago, by the way. It is filled with good people and makes Trumpanzees cry. Trumpanzees, I've not heard that before. Why is Penny waving?
It's a wafter.
She's got a spaghetti out again.
I got my whip out again.
It's got a nice sound to it. Can we just hear that again, Penny? My goodness. Right, okay.
Up and down your meridian.
That's available on Read. That's available on Read.
Hey, no further.
What about your right meridian? That was just your left one.
Do you know what? If you want to watch that on the YouTube replay, you can over and over and over again. I'm off.
There's nothing like a bit of self-flagellation, is there?
What's this? I'm off like a bride's nightie. Enjoy the plonk. Bride's nighty. That's up and down like a bride's nighty. Yeah. I'm sad that my wallet is opening now. That's to do with expats spending money. It possibly is, isn't it? Beard is 22. I'm not sure. Hey, yo, sorry, I missed most of the party. I guess anyone who joins at this stage is thinking, what happened here? I've obviously missed the first bit of this. I missed most of the party. Just came in.
Watch the replay.
Have spent the entire day in the pool just floating and soaking up the vitamin D. Another gorgeous day in Florida. Nice one, Ree. Glad.
That's good.
Charles, so glad things are turning around there and you are back to living life. Yes, Charles. Liberdad, Saudade. And hold on a minute. Maxine, we haven't heard from this evening. My favorite restaurant. I lunched there today. For lunch, it was jam-packed with people waiting. As we had reserved, all was well. Our dogs were happy too. Prices have not increased. Excellent, Maxine. Where was that? Or do you not want to share where your favorite restaurant is? StreamYard doesn't like us. That's a weird one, Pete. I'm sorry you're having trouble joining us. Whatever works for you, capital S or small s on the science. There was a really awkward pause there, wasn't there, when the science thing came up? But I think we know what you're getting at there, Penny. I think you guys need bigger glasses. Surely not. Or better
bigger
glasses.
Bottles. We need bigger bottles, not bigger
bottles, absolutely. Gary, it's the only legal weapon most people can buy, and on the good side, it's also useful to travel. As my answer to your comment on Portuguese driving qualities.
Oh, right. Now I'm with it.
Well said, Antonio F. Yes, it's a legal weapon, isn't it? Passing your driving test here. Estoril. That's not very specific, is it? I think there's more than one restaurant in Estoril possibly there, but I'm glad to hear you had a nice day, Maxine. Well, shall we make some final toasts, folks? This evening, I think maybe we can have a once round and think about this final stage of deconfinement. State of emergency's gone, but the state of the emergency for planet
Earth. Monday, we still have the weekend to go through.
Okay, Monday the 3rd, and May the 4th be with us. I know you'll like that, Joe. What are you?
I'm more trekking.
Oh, okay. Let's go boldly from Monday into the future. What are you?
I already started. See,
Joel, what are you hoping for? What can we drink? We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 toasts here just to finish the bottles. What are you looking for, Joel?
I'm drinking to the good performance of the whip Penny had.
The whip and the slipper.
No, the whip Penny has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm drinking to that.
I think Joel's going to be looking at the replay. Thank you. So let's drink to that. Let's drink Penny's whip. Am I alone in this?
Penny's whip. And a rug as well.
Okay, and to her rug as well. Peace, love, and understanding, of course, from Ubi Umanum. And David's joining us in this last. David Durham, good evening to you.
Hello.
How are you?
David. Hello. Prepare to have a toast ready.
Yes, we're going to come to you. We're going to come to you in a moment, David. Carlos, we go to our Portugueses first. What are you looking forward to, or what do you want to drink to this weird?
All of us, and more parties like this.
More parties like this. So festas y todos here tonight. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Thank you, Carlos, and thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a real pleasure to be in your company.
Thank you,
Mr. Perkins. The completion of your dream home, I suspect.
We're getting there. Not far away now. A few months. Well, for the house itself, not for the grounds, but the main house. But I think, to humanity itself, I think this last 18 months has made people look at life, all walks of life.
Yeah.
Value friendships, value relationships, and value friends and family. I think we've all seen people ill or worse. And I think it's as bad as it's been and as upsetting as a lot of people have, upsetting events as many people have had. I think it's also established new friendships and new relationships and brought people a lot closer. And so this is, I think, to friends, to relationships, to family, and humanity itself, I think
It's been a really difficult time, and I think we'll all get through it. Probably, maybe a little bit better, hopefully, at the end of it. So,
you love
Yeah,
man.
God, that was good.
Yes, very good.
That was
Neil.
proper good. I'm getting a little full up here now.
Yeah, me too. Me too. He does that to us, doesn't he, Neil? You know,
It's so poetic.
It's taken me 2 months to think of it. You know, it's one thing I've been doing away from the camera for 2 months.
Practicing in the mirror. That was perfect, Neil. Thank you for that. Penny, what was that? What was that gesture you just did?
I was doing Neil writing his epitaph there.
Oh, I see. Okay, I wondered what you were doing. Right. Penny, where can we go to you now? Because yours is a slightly
you got a bit of a chuckle going on there.
An alternative view. Some would characterize it as. I mean, for me, you're often bang on the money, and I love your worldview. And you have a slightly different view to the mainstream, I think it's fair to say. So what would you raise a glass to tonight?
Oh, Jesus. Talk about putting me on the spot. But
well, Jesus is good enough for me.
Yeah, Jesus can get one.
I do have an alternative view. And I'm right on my spot here. I definitely have an alternative view to the mainstream view. All I can say is I think it's more important now than ever for people to move away from mainstream media and to research for themselves and listen for themselves and not just be blindsided by whatever the fuck they're reading in the newspapers or on the television.
Okay, I think
to humanity. Think for yourselves, guys.
I think we're getting a few raised glasses to that for sure. Think for yourselves. Who would disagree with that? Absolutely. I mean, what's the alternative? I would like the government to continue to think for me. Here's to that. I think not. So thank you, Penny. Thank you very much for that. And I do really appreciate your worldview and how I recognise as well, you know, how difficult it can be to be on the kind of what are seen as the alternative edges and fringes of mainstream narratives, but still you're there. You're still there, sticking it to the man, and I raise a glass to you on that basis. So thank you, Penny. To Al Viagra, as we affectionately know it. What's the toast from Al Viagra tonight?
Well, like what Neil said, he's covered everything here, right?
Yes.
No, seriously, right? This coming Friday will be 30 years married to this lovely lady here who's stuck with me all the way through being a complete utter idiot sometimes, and you know all the things that go with it. We came here to start a wonderful life in Portugal, and we've discovered so much more through meeting you guys, and hopefully in the coming weeks, months, we can all get together and actually build on that and make something really special.
Yeah.
So to you all, really, to you all.
And
Cheers. I agree.
30 years of marriage as well. Beautiful, wonderful. Celebration of
beautiful
love.
People.
Yes, absolutely, you Austins. Fantastic. Steve and Tammy, can I ask you both? We're raising your forward prospects for being here in Portugal. What else would you like to add?
Well, we've been listening to these other great cheers. One of the things that's been amazing through this last year is being on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean and getting to know and meet each one of you at some level and connect. And we're really looking forward to the opportunity to be able to cross over and be in Portugal and experience this really live and in person. But this has been such a wonderful experience, and who would have thought that a year or so ago we would have all been connecting in this way and developing relationships in a new and profound way. So thank you, Carl, for all of this, and each one of you. It's been wonderful, and we look forward to continuing.
Fantastic. And here's
Carl.
Yeah, here's to doing this in person. Here's to doing this in person. Thank you, Steve and Tammy. Appreciate it. Lots of love to you. Yeah, looking forward to it. Did we start with you, Joel and Carlos? We did, didn't we? We did the Portuguese men and gave them their due respect to go first. David Durham, late comer to the scene. Did you want to make a toast? Did you want to make an observation here?
Well, I mean, so I'm, happy to have met you guys, and we can actually thank the Portuguese NHR for us meeting each other. That's why I'm looking at Portugal. But I'm really happy that we're sort of, we can all kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel with vaccines and the decline of cases, decline of deaths. So I think that's the most important thing right now.
Yes.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Well said. Light at the end of the tunnel. Cheers, David. Excellent. Is your Dinja agreeing with you, Neil? Here's to friends, family, relationships, and humanity. And Pete saying a toast for everyone, for all the friends we have made in troubling times. Well said, Pete. And Maxine makes an actually no. Before we do that, Hi says still can't figure out what's going on, but love the zany eclecticism. Viva Libertad.
You try saying that after you've had a few eclecticism.
I did my best there. I hope I did that justice.
Do that 3 times very fast.
But this is interesting to me. What Maxine says, calamity is still on, which to me sounds worse than a state of emergency. But I guess it's a Portuguese thing, right? That calamity is less than emergency. But we still got issues. We've still got issues in the world. So that's what my glass would be, is to us as human beings to stay vigilant in the problems that we had before the pandemic that kind of got brought into sharp focus during the pandemic. And we were able to reevaluate our values and connect in different ways. But, let's face it, the world wasn't perfect before the pandemic. So I think we're kind of, the demotion back to a state of calamity is a correct one. We still have too many people without food, without shelter, who live in war zones, and we need to raise our game on that. So I'd raise a glass to, in recognition of the suffering of too many people. If that's not a weird thing to do, to raise a glass, towards people who are suffering. But you get my gist. Our heart goes out to people who are suffering, and towards the ingenuity of human beings to make it work for more people. We've got enough resources, for God's sake, to make it work for most people on the planet. It's just a distribution for everybody. Absolutely, Buckminster Fuller. It's that sentiment, isn't it? There's enough for everybody if we can just get things in the right order and in the right distribution. So that's what I would, hope to raise a glass to. What I would look forward to celebrating one day is us doing much better in that department. So that's where I'm spilling alcohol on that. So thank you, everybody. Cheers. Thank you for being here tonight. We've had an amazing, couple and a half hours. It's flown by. I hope we've made some sense to people who've just chanced upon this on YouTube and thought, what the hell is happening here?
Or not.
Or not. Absolutely. We're used to that, aren't we? Go on, Neil.
I was thinking when all this is officially over and everybody is free to roam, maybe the Expats Portugal could do a big gathering or something, pick a venue, some big park, and have something like Expats in the Park or Expats and Portuguese in the Park. And it could be an organised events with a few months in advance, and that people could turn up with a blanket and a picnic and meet in some venue, some big public park area, and and everybody actually meet in person and get together. Expats in the Park or something like that would be a great idea, I think.
Immigrants in the Park.
Sorry?
Great idea.
Immigrants in the Park.
Immigrants in the Park.
I mean, that would make
an Expats Park sort of matches a bit better than immigrants. Or ignorance for that.
No wine.
Sorry? Yeah, bring your own. BYO, bring your own wine.
The only improvement
in the park.
Yeah, I think that's right. The only improvement I could think of with that, Neil, is to bring a whip and some slippers.
That would be mandatory. Yeah,
that'd be amazing. That would just be amazing, and we'd have Joel to thank for that, and he could do demonstrations on stage, being castigated by a true, a full-on Portuguese matrix.
I'm single. I don't have to worry.
Right, you could get some Portuguese bands and Portuguese music playing, and just have a big event. I mean,
illegal in the park.
All right. While we leave people conjuring with that image in their mind of slippers and picnics and blankets and whips and Portuguese wine, somewhere in central Portugal, we wish you a very good evening, and we do truly raise a glass to respect, health and freedom, and hopefully from next Monday onwards it will be a very different world. Take care, everybody, and bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Cheers. Thank you, everybody.